about to turn it up. Turn it. We about to turn it up. Turn it. We about to turn it up. 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 We about to turn it up. Go, 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 go. We about to turn it up. Turn it up. We about to turn it up.
Hello, ladies.
Hello.
Hi.
Ladies. Hi, hi.
Hello, everybody.
How are you doing?
Vibin'.
Good. Good.
Ready to go.
I'm gonna tell you what. I was actually kind of disappointed in the Swoop video.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh.
I thought it was gonna be at least 6 hours long. Just saying.
Oh, true. Yeah, I think it'd be 3 hours and whatever. It's just like, whoa.
I'm kind of glad
it.
I'm kind of glad it wasn't, to be honest. Otherwise, it'd still be timestamping. So.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm still trying to, I want to do it Sunday, but I might have to skip my member stream or do the member stream on Tuesday or something. I might have to do that. I don't know. I got to figure out when I'm going to cover it. I wanted to start tomorrow, but now it looks like it may not happen, so I don't know.
Oh, okay.
It might not be till Tuesday.
At least it can be just one like long stream.
Negative. There's no way. It's 3.5 long. That means I have to go 7 hours.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You need to double your
actually.
time when you're doing somebody's video.
Oh right.
So
my.
Midna apparently has been drinking.
Yeah, let's go, Twilly.
Woohoo.
Hell yeah. Well, I've got my Monster. I started rolling some, pre-rolling some cigarettes. I'm ready to rock. How are you guys doing?
I've got water.
Nice.
I also have water, but I have a bowl as well, so I'm fucking ready.
All right. Well,
Hey.
talk to these people because I forgot to get my drink while the music was playing. I'm a bad producer. I'll be right back.
Ooh.
Well,
All right, what is going on, chat? Who we got here? We've got Moonlight Rose, we've got Billy Joe, Joy Daly, Abigail, Jay, Sakura, Draconian, Gamer, Jamie, Xylie Gets Biased is in the house. What's going on here? Period, point blank, period. Y'all just saying. ASMR, Brad, Madam Motley, Spectre, Jaden, what is cracking? Channy, Twilly, as we said just before. Susan, welcome for your first time here on the live. Everybody, hello. Hello. Everybody lurking right now. What's going on? Hello, lurkers.
Oh, we got a lot of
yeah.
bees in the chat. I
I
love all
can
the
see.
bees.
Yes, we do have a lot of little bees in there. We've got some of the greenies, our honorary broads. How you doing, guys? We've got some green bees in there too, which means you guys have been here for 3 whole months supporting us from the start. So thank you so much. For our members as well. I'm not quite sure if you've noticed, but we have a couple of new emotes in there too. So I thought I'd try and customize them a little bit more. We have got the guh. We've got the guh. And we've got a little microphone in there too. So every time we get some new more members, we're going to try and get some more emotes in there, a bit more personalized ones. So feel free to use those whenever you like throughout the stream. Use them as much as you can because that's what they're there for. Am I right?
Yeah. And
You're
Kimba,
right, you've
thank
never
you
been
for
wrong.
becoming an honorary broad.
Yeah, Kimber. Ooh. I hope you all have got your drinks, you got your snacks. It's going to be a time today. I'm sure we have a lot of different opinions about what's going to be going on, and I can't wait to get into it. So,
Yeah.
oh
This
yeah,
is very interesting,
Mm-hmm.
to say the very least.
I think I've watched this now like a total of like 2.5 times, to be honest. So I think it's kind of like burnt into my brain at this point, but we'll see.
Yeah, I actually saw the second half because Xylie was showing it. So I only saw the second half, and I had to go back and watch the first half. And let me tell you, chat, it is a really interesting conversation, especially one part. Interesting.
Okay, so I might be going up against the grain here about this video on one part.
Okay, me too. Thank you.
Okay.
Because I haven't seen a single person voice the opinion that I have so far. So maybe we're on the same wavelength.
Okay. When he started talking about like the chats and stuff like that, it seemed to me he was getting a little Weasley.
Yep.
And maybe it's because of how awkward or how bad it looks, and he was, worried because of his job and his real life. I mean, it could have just been his emotion in it, but he seemed that he kind of was getting Weasley in that part, but he like ringed it in. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel like at one point I also I was like feeling real bad for him, and then I was like, oh, this guy's sniffing his own farts here though. Like, there was a lot of times where I felt like that throughout the video, like sprinkled throughout, where I was like, wait a minute.
Well, you also have to remember he was a YouTuber, and
that is true. Yeah, that could just be it.
Let's be honest. We're on YouTube because we want people to notice us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to have some kind of ego to be on YouTube. You have to.
Oh yeah, for sure. But the thing is, I don't think he denies it doesn't have an ego or didn't have an ego either. Like
True.
there were points in there where it was like, yeah, I did it for the fame, I did it for the money. That's the reason why I was there.
Yep.
So you know, at least there is a certain amount of accountability there.
Yes.
Like he knows.
But did y'all
why
notice the amount of times he would say, "I feel like I'm the only one throughout my whole life who's had to learn a lesson. I'm the only one who has to." He said things like that, like sprinkled throughout, and I was like, "This guy,
Ding, a
little
ding, 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 ding,
grandiose."
ding, a
He's
ding, ding, ding,
playing the
ding,
only one
playing the
to go
tiny,
through.
playing the
Yeah.
tiny violin.
Cringy,
yeah.
thank you for the $4.99. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Cringy.
She says here to listen to the gospel. Yeah, like okay, but overall, I think it was a great interview that he did. I'm glad he said the things that he said. I'm glad that he is the only damn adult in this situation that has come out and just took accountability for what the hell he did.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Gamer Jamie 111. I think he was just scared of the interview affecting his job in that moment and not wanting to get out of the question at the same time for truth. Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I don't know. There were some parts in there when he was talking, I was like, bro, what?
Well, I hope I've included the parts that you're cringing about. So,
and if not, when I go over it, I'll definitely voice it.
yeah.
I'll definitely voice it. Okay. All right, so the first one is Josh explaining his role in the Colleen story.
Before we get into that, though, do you mind sharing your screen and chat? Put a 1 in the chat if you're ready for this. I want to know who's ready. You guys ready?
Are you guys ready?
Yeah, ready?
Yeah, ready? By the way, I didn't notice those you put as a member thing. They are so cute. That's so cute.
Isn't it so cute? That's my new favorite. Gah.
Mine too.
Maybe we should start asking for a gut in the chat.
Put a in the chat if you're ready. All right, let's go.
Let's do it.
In 2008, and I would watch people like Smosh and Shay Carl.
Briefly tell me what your role is in this Colleen Ballinger story from your perspective.
Early on, it was I'm the boyfriend of this Miranda person. And then that kind of, it took hold when I proposed and I made a video out of it. And then it skyrocketed, it changed. And then I had an audience. So then I definitely was perceived as like the boy next door, the guy that maybe you'll find a guy like Josh one day. Not to say that like I'm some great
Okay, could you imagine you're like a normal dude on YouTube and then all of a sudden you're dating a mega star on YouTube?
Yeah.
Like mega. Like as in you know, this person's like really going to go somewhere and become international type.
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
probably like just so weird being just thrown into the spotlight like that.
I mean, imagine the trolls we get now. Imagine the trolls that he was probably getting.
Right.
Yeah.
But also, part of me feels like he loved it. Like he was like, easy ticket. Hell
I can tell you now, I would have loved it too. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and act like I wouldn't. Hell yeah, I would love it. I'd take every advantage of it too. Shit.
And the fact is just that he did mention that he did make a video of the proposal and stuff like that and then put it out there. And like, so there was all of that intention too, to have eyes on it and all that sort of stuff. So
yeah, but they also put their whole lives in front of the YouTube also, so.
Yeah, but there's parts throughout this where he was like, can we not do this? Can we not have like, you know, recordings or videos of this at the moment or whatever?
Oh, yeah.
And so it kind of like there's two sides to him. He's got two wolves inside him.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
but I knew how they were viewing me, and I tried to remain as authentic as I could. That evolved into, now I'm the fiance. And look at all the things that he's doing. I wanted to put my heart into it. And there was a chunk that it felt perfect. Everything felt perfect. Then we got married. And when that happened, it just all kind of started going downhill. It became almost like they were watching a soap opera and trying to read between the lines, and I could feel that they were making comments about what's going on. It feels different. The sad part is it was different. I started to feel almost like a character, like a sitcom character, like I was replaceable. One of the questions I would consistently get was, if you weren't married to her, what YouTuber would you want to be married to? And it always struck me odd, because I'm like, why would you even ask me that? Like, this is a real life. This is a real marriage. This is a real relationship.
Because, okay, there's a problem with people not... Okay, so the problem that a good portion of the audience, I don't give a shit what size YouTuber you are, there is a portion of the audience who does not look at you like you are a human being. You're not allowed to make mistakes. You're not allowed to have feelings. You're not allowed to get mad. You're not allowed to cry. You're not allowed to spurt out. You're not allowed to do a lot of things. Because the audience has a tendency to forget you're a fucking human being.
Yeah.
And they ask stupid ass questions like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't sit here and think, well, if it's not her, which one would I want, you know? And so I would address that on camera and be like, we're not sitcom characters. This is real. So I'm not going to answer that question. And to then have it evolve into real life, it did feel like I was swapped out. It did feel like I was replaced. And no one ever addressed that there's a new husband in the mix. I was there for 7 years and now I'm not. And everyone's okay with it. Maybe who I am and what I am has never had any value.
Sounds like to me he lost his identity, which is understandable. I can understand where he lost his identity. I can get it. I can totally get it. It happens. It happens to people who don't even get into relationships through YouTube. There's people who lose their identity just by having a channel, and they forget who they really are.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, she's such a big personality as well, so it's really it'd probably be too easy to kind of go by her lead. And,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
To them, or even to myself, I am replaceable. That's a hard thing to swallow. When the public thinks that is one thing. When you feel like the person that you trusted most treated you like that, I mean, it crushed me. It crushed. I mean, I was already an insecure person. I think most performers, in a way, are. We're always seeking some type of validation, some type of applause or a good job.
Well, let me ask you really quick. When you became the husband, everything just kind of went downhill from there. And so, are you speaking specifically just about the fandom, or was it once you got married to Colleen, did the marriage also just seem to spiral downhill pretty quickly?
It was more about behind the scenes, that things were changing, and I couldn't stop it from changing. And I tried over and over and over to get us back on track. And I think people can see between the lines to an extent.
Okay. I'm just going to look at the other timestamps and just go from there. I'm not going to click them. All right. 30. Oh, I can't because you didn't give both timestamps. Shit. All right. Well.
Off. Do you think...
Pause it. 39:19. Oh my God. Oh, that was just... Girl, that was exactly where we stopped at.
I know, I just realized that. Not all of it's like that.
Stockland.
Well, the next one is... Alright, let's see. Alright.
Like, do you have a moment where you had a realization of now we're married and just something has changed? Was there some...
I don't think it was one single moment. Colleen and I always had a difficult relationship from the very beginning. It was very passionate and very explosive.
Come on, man.
But never truly consistent. And I was so infatuated that I just ignored the red flags and kept fighting for it, kept pushing to make things better. When you really love someone, you don't just let it go because it's hard. You adapt, you evolve, you compromise. I felt like I did that over and over and over. The thing that changed really was when we got married, it kind of felt like any effort to meet me in the middle stopped.
Well, yeah, she had the power by that point. True Savage for 5. Sad that he was led to sell his soul when he didn't even know he was in a contractual position. True.
How dare I ask for something? How dare I say, could you maybe not film tonight and just sit and have dinner with me? I tried to take us to couples therapy. She was very resistant. I was so down. I was so down. I don't mind talking about my feelings, obviously. She only went a handful of times, and I would always go, regardless if she would show up or not. And every single session, she didn't want to talk about her. It was always me, my problem, what I was doing wrong, what I needed.
That's because Colleen is a full-blown narcissist. She don't do a damn thing wrong. She don't do nothing wrong.
Yeah, it was always about everybody else. Everyone else is like making her feel that way. It's never her herself.
She don't do shit wrong.
You can see that inside the ukulele video as well. There wasn't like, you know, she'd be like, sure, it was a little weird. I'm the weird aunt or whatever, but all these people are getting on the toxic gossip train. But like, oh, come on,
bro, that goddamn ukulele.
To redirect in my brain, and it was infuriating and sad because it's just constantly just you're wrong, not her, you're wrong.
What, like when you say things like, you know, she saying that you're wrong.
Is this going too fast for anybody? I figured 1.5 was okay with the CCs on. Is that all right? Are we good?
I think it's fine. Okay. We can all follow that. Yeah.
Are we good in the chat? One in the chat if you're good. It's okay for me. Thank you, Giselle. Perfect. Okay.
Excellent.
Awesome. Thank you. Love you guys.
You're wrong. What was that about? Just was that about the content that you're making or how you were approaching the relationship? Or
I felt disrespected a lot in that relationship. There's a misconception out there that I was some controlling husband, boyfriend guy that was not supportive of what she did. And it always bothered me because I always rooted for her. I went to so many shows, I participated in videos. Yes, it helped me out too, but I never once said, don't do this. Don't take that show. Don't tour right now. I never, ever guilted her for that. All I ever wanted was, hey, if you're going to do this, can you talk to me on the phone? And it wasn't like, please talk to me for 2 hours a day. It was just normal. To me, it felt like a normal request. And that always evolved into difficult conversations, arguments that I didn't understand, that I was selfish, that I have expectations that are unreasonable. And I started to believe all of that. But in retrospect, I wasn't asking for anything major other than a...
Can you imagine how she was feeling watching this? Because you know she watches.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I don't think she's gonna let this slide. To be honest,
that's what I was thinking.
She has to respond to this. Like having like her ex-husband up there has got to trigger something for her to go. All right, I need to talk about this now or something because this is major.
That's exactly what I was thinking. She's gonna come back with some stupid video.
Imagine if she gets a Swoop interview out of this. Like imagine if like it comes down to that.
Well, imagine Swoop is the only person that he will talk to.
Yeah,
that's
he
true.
wouldn't talk to anybody else. He would only talk to Swoop, and he's like, I'm not doing another one like with anybody else either. It was just Swoop. So she has, bro.
Imagine.
That'd be so
normal.
good.
What I would view as a normal kind of relationship with the person that you've been with for 7 years. And there were other times that I thought she was really rude. There was a lot of times where on her tours, the amount of times I had to apologize to the tech crew and the people running the event because of how rude she was to them. Almost like, I'm a queen, don't talk to me, talk to my assistant. And I would look at that and go, what are you doing? They're here it's their job. The least you could do is like give them eye contact and respond. She was just so either abrasive or just didn't care. And I could see it in the faces of the crew. And time again, at least 7 or 8 times, I said, I'm so sorry. She's having a rough week. It's not anything about you. And I would try to make excuses because I didn't want her to look bad. And then I would try to talk to her about it. And then it was me being wrong again. I don't know what she thought I was expecting her to be. But anytime I thought, wow, I wouldn't have spoken to them that way.
So on June 30th, 2023, the LA Times ran an article about the Colleen Ballinger saga about Joshua David Evans opening up for the first time in years in response to Colleen's ukulele response video. This article cited a tweet of Joshua's which said, quote, "I was gaslit too." This was one of the first times a major press publication had ever discussed Joshua's own allegations against Colleen Ballinger. And here he was able to open up about it for the first time with anybody publicly.
Yeah, I just felt like whatever truth I thought was there, she denied that truth and made me feel crazy about it. Or how she would talk.
Well, that's how Colleen is, though. I mean, it kind of makes sense because Colleen's one of those that if it's not her narrative, it's not the right narrative.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
You have to go by her narrative. Has anyone looked to see what her sub counts are? No. No.
Yeah, I ain't even cared for her.
Nah. Mm-mm.
Talk about fans or what she would say about all the gifts that they brought. There were just so many moments where I thought, that's gross.
Would she talk negatively about fans to you behind the scenes? Was that something that happened or happened often?
I don't want to paint a picture like she was just this monster that just spewed hate towards her fans, because she, quote, loves her fans. I have a different interpretation of what love means to her. But there were a lot of times where she would talk negatively or make fun of someone.
Oh, she loved her fans so much, she weaponized them. What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what he says
Or-
here is very interesting.
Yeah.
Joke about what she was going to do with all the gifts on the tour bus. And I just thought to myself, I would never talk like that. These people are giving us a job.
Well, I'm curious because you just said that you have a different definition of love than she did. And I'm curious like what you mean by that, if you could just elaborate more on that.
She says she loves her fans. When you love something, there's a part of you that's selfless, or that's truthful, or that's just kind. And I didn't see a lot of that. And to me, it felt like she didn't really love them as people. She loved what they provided for her. She loved the attention. She loved the status. She loved, like, it gave her a thrill and she loved it. But do I think she truly loved her fans? I never really felt like she did. I think she just loved what it gave her. And one of the biggest times we had a fight was because of her fans. We were doing the Josh and Colleen tour. We had a husband and wife tour. And
What year was this? Do you remember?
January of 2016.
You guys ready for this or what?
He was so handsome back then. I think he was so handsome back then. I don't know
I
what.
don't know. I still kind of think he's a bit handsome.
I know he's
to be
handsome now, but like with his haircut like that and everything, he was so handsome back then.
Anytime like I had the mic and it was it was both of us on stage and we both had different things we would do and we did stuff together. But when we would interact and I felt like I was ad-libbing a little bit and improving, I could tell when she did not want me to keep talking. She gave me a look on stage while I was doing it, because I had gone on for like 30, 45 seconds longer than we normally do, about a bit. And on mic, I said, "Oh, I know that look. She wants me to shut up, guys." We went on, we finished the show. I got on the tour bus first. When she came on the bus, I had never seen her so livid with me. Some of the eye contact that you saw in the ukulele video, kind of a darkness in her eyes.
Yeah, there's been a lot of comments on people's perception of her look there.
I saw it all the time, especially in that moment.
I'm sure everybody's seen it. I'm sure everybody who's been around her saw that look at one point or another.
Yeah.
I guarantee you.
It's literally like dead, soulless eyes, like they're just piercing
Creepy.
into
Yeah,
deeper than
she's got
looking at
like
nothing.
shark eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good description.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of a sociopath. It reminds me of
Oh,
someone
yeah.
that doesn't give a fuck, like literally doesn't give a fuck about anything
Yeah,
except
just
for what
detached.
comes out of their mouth. Like they do not care about your feelings whatsoever. There is no I don't give a shit. I don't care. And that's what I honestly feel like, that's what I saw when I saw that look. It was like, this girl don't really care. She don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sakura.
And she came in, and she's not really one to yell at me. She wasn't like that. If anything, she just completely ignored me. But this time she yelled, and she was like, "How dare you make me look bad in front of my fans? How dare you do that?" And I was sitting there thinking, what? I don't think I really made you look bad. I made a joke. It's like a husband-wife thing. Well, honey doesn't want me talking. Here I go again. But I was being honest, too, on stage. And in that moment, I realized she cares way more about how she is perceived than what the truth actually is. I got it. She let me have it. It was scary. I mean, it was scary, because I'd never seen.
And that's someone who gets eaten up by how famous they're getting. And then what becomes more important is not being yourself versus how everybody perceives you.
Yeah.
This is why I tell people in my audience all the time, okay? Every single YouTuber is an asshole. Every single YouTuber is an asshole. It just depends on what grade of asshole they are.
Yeah, what flavor?
Not a damn person you watch on YouTube is perfect. They are not the perfect person. They are human beings. They have feelings. They're going to make mistakes. They're going to fuck up. If you live in some grandiose thing in your head that you think your favorite YouTuber can't do wrong, you have lost the plot in life, and I implore you to cut YouTube off.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah,
No, I
that's
think
not-
PewDiePie's at that status for me. He can do no wrong.
Oh, especially when he's with his little baby. Oh my God.
Yeah, all those videos recently, I'm like, oh, kill me.
Okay, as a dad, PewDiePie is perfect. Okay, we'll give PewDiePie
Yeah.
perfect status as a dad. Okay,
There we go, yeah.
most
Yeah.
definitely. But besides PewDiePie being a father, they all. I'm like, listen, PewDiePie in his career, he has fucked up. Everybody fucks up.
Yep.
Everybody.
Yeah,
does.
absolutely.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed.
You just have this problem where you got 14, 15, 16-year-olds who look at these YouTubers like they're fucking perfect, and they go into adulthood thinking these people are perfect. Before you know it, they're a damn stan.
And
Oh.
idolized. Yeah, they idolize them. And they're like,
Yes.
dude, they were just normal people that have
Stop
a YouTube
idolizing
channel. Like,
these people. Yes, stop idolizing them. Stop it. They are not idols. They are human beings. Oh my
Yeah.
God, I hate it.
Seen her really look at me that intensely before.
I think it's interesting that you said I'm assuming you were paraphrasing, but if she was saying something like, how dare you do that in front of my fans, when it was a tour for the two of you. The idea behind that would be that it would be your shared fans. I was curious, if you felt like there was animosity or competition. Were there moments where it was just mutually supportive, or was it more of a one-sided thing, like these are my fans? Or can you walk me through that? Like, what was that like, having a relationship and you guys both creating together and separately in your own right?
I always felt like, well, because she made it obvious with her words and actions, that they were her fans. They were not mine. And when we decided to do a tour together,
Bro, it was her tour. You were just attached to it. The hell?
Yeah.
Come on now.
husband and wife, I thought, wow, she's really like looking at me like an equal. And it meant the world to me. I didn't want to be bigger than her, but the fact that it felt like it's 50-50. Wow, I've never felt 50-50 with her before. And then she was very adamant about doing Miranda on the husband-wife tour. And I didn't understand that. Why do you need to do Miranda when it's billed as us? If you bring Miranda in it, it's just a Miranda show with us. That was one of the times that she did go to therapy with me, and the therapist sided with her. Why would you not allow her? Why would you have a problem with her doing that? And it made me feel like I was being controlling. And I didn't look at it as like trying to control her. I just thought, if we're really doing 50-50, why would you whip out this massive character? If I spoke up and said, I don't see why you're pulling that out. She just didn't understand. She thought, you controlling, how dare you? This is what brought us here. This is what got us this tour.
We've seen evidence of her, making those types of claims to her fans. I'm curious, was that something that she said directly to you?
She might not have said the word, but she alluded to it countless times. There was one time where I was on my own tour and she was in Canada filming her show. And she just avoided talking to me for days. And we're married at this point. There was one time, I remember I was about to perform. I had an hour before the show, and I went back to my hotel room, and I finally got her on the phone. And all of this pain and like feelings of being disregarded kind of came to the surface. And I really just kind of let it out on the phone. Was I yelling at her? No. But I was very passionate in the way I talked, very upset. And what she told me days later is, I saw Eric, which is her husband now, right after I got off that phone call with you, and I told him, oh, well, I just got yelled at by my husband for 15 minutes.
Was that something that you felt was happening often, that she would go to him and share details of your relationship?
I don't know if she thought I was blind, but I saw it from the beginning when she cast him. I remember all the other people that went through the cycle of that audition circuit.
I tried to figure out who he was and why am I supposed to know him? And I couldn't find it. Like, as in, I still don't understand who he is.
He was on her Netflix show with her. He played the like love interest on the show. Like, the guy was obsessed with her throughout the whole show.
Like, he's one of those actors that always plays like side characters.
Oh, okay. CIA for 5. Well, Xylie, you're my favorite American Idol. I'm such a funny agency. I'm not an idol. I'm not. No. Not at
Thanks,
all.
CIA. The 5.
Not at all. No. Okay, we'll just keep going till 58:39.
Yeah.
that character was supposed to be not conventionally like a good-looking guy. And when she started, wanting him, I thought he's kind of a good-looking dude. You want him to play this character that's supposed to be like the male Miranda? And I thought, I can't say anything. She's gonna think I'm jealous. She's gonna think I'm controlling. I did bring up, that's odd that you're pushing for him when he's conventionally a good-looking guy.
Now, the person Joshua is talking about is actor Eric Stocklin, somebody we've mentioned often in the series, but haven't covered anywhere near as much as Colleen.
I still haven't watched that series. I still haven't watched it.
I can't bring myself to watch it. Even before all of this, I thought it was just so cringe. Like, I couldn't. Like,
I
it was
watched
just one of
it
those
when
ones
it
that was
first
like,
came out of curiosity, and I honestly had no idea who she even was. It was like way later I found out she was a YouTuber. And so I was like, oh, I missed that whole era.
Oh, really?
I think I knew her from Nickelodeon stuff or something. I can't really pinpoint my finger on it, but she was familiar to me, but not as Miranda.
Right.
Yeah.
Circle. Now, Eric Stocklin is an actor who, during the early 2010s, popped up in smaller roles in shows like The Vampire Diaries, Bones, and Criminal Minds before he got his big break, and a starring role on a Netflix show called Haters Back Off. What you might not know is that while she was working on this show's first season, she was married to Joshua David Evans. 2 weeks before that season came out, on October 14th, 2016, Colleen announced her divorce from Joshua, and less than 2 years after that, Colleen Ballinger got married again to her Haters Back Off co-star, Eric Stocklin.
There were just a lot of times that I knew she was hanging out with him. I knew that he had been over to her apartment in Canada, or that she went over to his place and, quote, everyone was there. It's just hard to talk about. There was
I would have tore up a set. Oh, Lord have mercy. I would have tore up a set. Oh, my God. Woo. This video is making me hungry. What? What?
There was a time right before the divorce happened, and it was VidCon, and she didn't stay at VidCon very long. She, at that point, kind of thought, I'm bigger and better than this. Well, I loved it, but she left and went back to our house that we had. Someone communicated and relayed to me, hey, while you're out at VidCon, she's having a few people over to the house. And I was like, who? And they said, Eric, Corey, and a romantic interest, and Rachel and her boyfriend at the time. And I just thought it was weird. And so I was supposed to spend the night that night near VidCon because it was a long drive. Something in my gut said, no, go back home. So I finished the show. I didn't tell her, and I got in the car and I drove back. She kept messaging me like, are you in your hotel room? Where are you? Where are you? And within the last probably 15 minutes or so of the drive, I came clean and I said, I'm actually almost home. And when I walked through those doors, it reeked of alcohol and cigarettes, and no one was there. Nobody was there. And then I went upstairs, and she was sitting on our bed, playing her ukulele.
The goddamn ukulele. That motherfucking ukulele, bro.
It's always the
He ought not to. He shouldn't have told her that he was on the way home.
Exactly. What are you doing? Nah, baby, I'm chilling in the hotel. I'm actually no, I'm not chilling in the hotel. I'm driving to get something to eat, and then pull up, open up the door, and go, bitch, who up in here?
Yeah, he didn't want to know. I feel like that's why he did that. Because why else would you do that?
He was so. In the back of his mind, he probably already knew what was happening, and he just didn't want to see it.
Yeah,
which I can't blame him for. I can't blame him for that.
Also, the fact that she's known to not talk to him for weeks on end when he's on tour and doing something else, and that night she was very interested in are you in your hotel? Where are you? What are you doing? Blah blah blah. But obviously, red flags or alarm bells gonna go off at that point. And you're like, what are you up to? Especially considering that she wasn't the one that told him there was gonna be people over. Right. So he got that information from someone else.
I'm wondering who told him about that.
Shane Dawson.
Well, Stitcher in chat said that possibly could have been Rachel because they were really good friends at the time. So
possibly.
Oh yeah.
There is that to consider. But yeah.
I could tell she had some drinks in her. No big deal. Have a drink. It's your house. She smelled of smoke, and I was like, what's going on? Where is everybody? Oh, they had to go. They had to leave. And I just thought, just the red flags were popping off in my head. Like, why would you have everyone leave when you knew I was showing up, unless you didn't want me to be around it? But the final words I said to her to her face, the last thing I ever said to her to her face, as I was leaving, I turned to her and I said, when you're effing Eric in our bed, I want you to think of me.
Oof.
And I said it right to her face, eyes locked. And her response was, "It's not like that. He has a girlfriend." And then what was exposed?
That to me is like the most cop-out fucking thing you can say. It's just like, no, he has a girlfriend. It's like, no, it's not like, oh, I don't have feelings for him like that. I don't feel that way towards him. It's not like that. It's like, oh, he has a girlfriend. Like that's the situation. Like there is no. I hate that. I really hate that.
That's so gross. Yeah, it's not like that. Okay, buddy.
Very soon after was that they had started a relationship. It sucks. That's the last thing I said to her.
That's like you have not said anything to her.
She threatened me a few months later through text that if I continued to talk about her in any way, shape, or form is what she said. If you mention me in any way, I'm going to get lawyers on you. And my response to that was her branded slogan. And all I said was spread happiness. And that was the last thing I wrote to her with a little sunflower because that's what she always used.
On September 1st, 2023, Joshua and I hopped on Zoom for a few more questions I had for him, namely...
That was petty as hell and I loved it.
Yeah.
Hold on, I gotta blow my nose. I'm gonna push. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, he brought that to Petty University for sure. Like, spread happiness sunflower.
I wanted to get his reaction to what happened in part 3 of my Colleen docu-series, but I also wanted to get him to elaborate further on a few topics that he brushed on during our main interview. Even though that was 7 hours long, there were things I wanted more context on. So whenever you see this switch over to Zoom, that interview took place after the truth about John Silvestri came to light.
I was always uncomfortable with Eric and her relationship. Anytime I had an inkling, do you have a thing for that person? It only happened like 3 or 4 times. But every single time I had an inkling, it happened.
Sorry, when you say it happened, are you saying that she had cheated multiple times, like with different people, or?
In the first 3 months of us dating, I had this weird feeling in my gut that we were exclusive. We were saying, I love you. It was this whirlwind romance. I had this feeling in my gut that something wasn't right. I didn't know what it was. And I did a foul thing. She walked out, she was doing something, she left the apartment. And I pulled up the laptop that she was on and I read some Facebook private messages that she had been sending. And it broke my heart. I caught her sending back and forth messages to a guy that I had already brought up. Hey, who is this guy and why is he saying this kind of stuff to you? Like, I don't think that's appropriate. And she would always be like, oh no, he's gay or he's not into me. What I found was that in those messages, she was saying exactly to him what she had said to me when we were...
See, I'm too crazy to have somebody cheat on me. I am way too crazy. Don't do it. If you're going to cheat on me, just break up with me because I'm going to jail. All right? I am going to jail. Do not be dumb enough to cheat on me. Just break up with me. Let me get mad at you at the time of you breaking up with me. Woo, don't let me catch nothing like that. I swear to God.
BRB.
We're first starting to date and get to know each other. She was using the same catchphrases, the same, you're the best in the West. That sticks out to me because she used to say that about me, and she said it to him, and I confronted her about it. The next day, I was still upset, and I remember her saying, if this is how you're going to be, if you're not over this now, then I can't be in a relationship with you, period, if you're still going to be upset. And I thought to myself, but I'm upset because I caught you talking to another guy, all lovey-dovey, all sweet. Now you're upset with me for still being upset 24 hours later. But
that's how she caught him. That's how she caught him. That's how she caught him. She realized at that point when he stayed with her, she realized at that point she got him.
I feel like
she can get away with it.
The silliest example of the romantic shit that she was saying to someone else that matched what she was saying to him. Like, you're the best of the West. That's the thing you pick. I don't know. That just feels silly to me. She said that to me. Well, that's not even like intimate.
But my whole point is she was talking to somebody else on Facebook. He saw it. He let her get away with it, so right then and there she knew she's got him hooked, and she can get away with anything.
Yeah, she spun it around so that he was the person in the wrong, and she was right. And she's like, if you can't get over this, or if you can't, get your feelings in check, then we might as well break up. Putting it back on him. Yeah, like that is the most gaslighting, narcissistic bullshit I have ever heard.
Bro, it's bad. It's really, really bad. 58:39. All right, I just want to make sure time. All right.
In that moment, it taught me if I speak up about something that I caught that I didn't think was right, her response is, then I'm out. Then I'm gone. 2 months later, Swoop, the same thing happened.
With a different person?
No, same person.
See? He even admitted it right then and there. She got his ass. She realized she can get away with anything. All she has to do is threaten to leave.
Yep.
And it worked for 7 years.
He was saying, I'm so sorry. If I got you in trouble with your boyfriend, I'm so sorry. And she said, please don't apologize. Do not apologize. We can keep doing this as long as my boyfriend doesn't know about it. I have no problem with this. I should have known because she showed me who she was so early on. It left a mark that never went away.
How did that make you feel through all of the years that you were together?
I don't think this now because I've worked with a therapist. I thought it was my fault. The whole time I thought I did something to deserve this. Here's this amazing person. She has presented this amazing thing to me. It's my fault. I need to change how I view these things. I need to change. The biggest time she gave me an ultimatum was she just said nonchalantly, if you don't propose to me within a year, I'm done. And for me, I was like, I wish you didn't say that because I just...
With the little bit of snippets that he gave throughout this interview of how his life was before YouTube, I think he was already set up to fail with Colleen. You know what I mean? Colleen seems to be the type of person that, well, I mean, I think anybody probably be set up to fail with her. But she seems to be the kind of person that she actually needs somebody who's more domineering than she is to keep her ass straight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And how he described like his family life, like his dad and stuff like that. He already had issues going on because of his childhood.
Yeah, well, narcissistic people normally do like to go for the ones that have, bad childhood.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's because he's already isolated. There's no work for her to do to isolate him, to make him to make her his one and only. Like, he has nowhere else to go. This is the person that he's spending his life with, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, there's no work there to do to break off people from his life so that he's stuck with her, so to speak.
Yeah.
So it's an easy target.
Yep. Very easy target. He was and that's sad. That's so sad.
Yeah.
I hate to see people getting taken advantage of because of shit like that, Yeah. It's like, damn, like, why can't people just be good people? Like, shit. Play, motherfucker. Okay.
In my own self, got to that point. I just found that, and now you're giving me an ultimatum. Just feels icky. It feels gross.
Throughout the course of your relationship, do you feel like she would make posts or remarks publicly that were targeted at you?
I think she would post things knowing that I had verbally said that makes me uncomfortable. Hey, I saw on your Insta story, like, you're really flirting really heavy with your director for your Netflix show. Like, it's there for everyone to see. It's blatant flirtation. And then that would turn into me being controlling when I'm just sitting here going, you're not just like having fun. You're flirting and chasing this man down. The comments are saying that you're flirting. She knew the things that didn't make me feel great, and she would do them anyway. She's her own person. She can do whatever she wants.
Why do you think she would do those things that, knowing that it made you uncomfortable?
Power.
I think maybe she resented me.
Like, what?
It's all about power.
I think it's about power. I don't think it's about resentment. I think it's about having control over him and making, like, if he says, I don't feel like this, I don't like this, I don't like how you're talking like this, blah, blah, blah. I should be like, I can talk however I want. It's up to you whether you want to leave or go. So, there's the ultimatum there again. So, yeah, that's literally all about power. It's about power.
That's why she's probably freaking out over this damn thing. Because think about it, for years he stayed silent. And now all of a sudden he's talking.
Yep, because she had him controlled. She controlled him. And now this is out of her control. She would be spiraling right now.
I bet you she done smashed that ukulele. I bet you there's a hole in the wall with the ukulele in it.
I hope.
I bet she will come out with a response, though.
She might.
I think around this time is when I started thinking, oh, she's going to respond.
She might.
What would lead you to think she might have resented you?
She just didn't act like she liked me. She wasn't kind. She didn't make me feel seen. She didn't make me feel like I mattered. I didn't feel like I was in a relationship the majority of the time. I felt like a shell. It would drive me crazy because people in the comments would notice, which made me feel even more embarrassed and more small.
According to Joshua, the last time he spoke with Colleen, she threatened him with legal action if he ever spoke about her or their relationship. He rarely directly spoke her name. However, Joshua did try to speak out a few times. There was a common narrative that was kind of spread around you and Colleen at the time of the divorce, where people were saying that you just remained silent, which isn't entirely true.
I have held my tongue for years, 2 or 3 years. I've held my tongue more than you know, and it's killing me. I'm just going to tell the truth. I want to tell you about my life. And I want to tell you about what really happened, and it might piss off a lot of people. It might piss off the subscribers, and it might piss off Colleen, It might piss off people in my family.
So I'm curious because you haven't shared much about your relationship. Why now are you sharing this?
This is the very first time in 6 or 7 years after it happened where I feel like if I were to say something, I'm not going to be attacked by hundreds of thousands of teenagers.
Right. Now, when Colleen and Joshua got divorced, Joshua was...
Could you imagine? Could you
teenagers
imagine?
are ruthless.
They were ruthless to him. They were absolutely, because they were going by Colleen's narrative.
Yep.
was almost immediately met with constant daily attacks in comments and in his DMs, as well as on gossip websites like Gossip Garden and Gossip Bakery. It's been rumored for years that Joshua, in response to the constant harassment, became obsessed with what people were saying about his divorce and began not so subtly trolling the gossip blogs for information. There are some interesting allegations relating to Joshua's mindset from this time period that we discovered after the initial interview, so I decided to ask him directly about it.
Okay, all right. This is one of my parts. This is one of my parts. Okay. This is one of my parts. All right, let's keep going. All right.
We have seen a relationship that you had of sorts with a site called Gossip Garden and Gossip Bakery. These both ring a bell?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, they do.
There have been rumors for years that you were allegedly prowling these gossip sites, trying to get information about your relationship or your divorce with Colleen.
There were rumors going around that I had done bad things or that I cheated on her. And I was so upset by it that I would spend so much time searching, where is this coming from? Who's saying this? I'd get sent links. Hey, did you see this? Did you see this is being said about you? And I would hop on. I'd sure as hell would go look and see what was going on.
And I want to say that's totally understandable.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
been there, done that. I understand. Okay, I get him doing that.
Especially when you're left with a lot of questions that are
Yes.
open-ended. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I totally get I totally get him basically doom scrolling those sites. I get it.
Going on and what they were saying. Still feeling like I don't have a voice. I'm just watching, hoping that someone is going to see between the lines and see that a lot of what's being said isn't true. But yeah, I spent a lot of time. It was not good for my mental health because anytime I'd get something about me, I was fixated on it because I was getting so much hate from everywhere.
We've seen, some tweets and things that you may have been speaking in code on Twitter.
I mean, sure. There was a time where they were like, we think he's lurking. We think he is reading some of these posts. Josh, if you're reading this, post a picture of X. At the time, especially because this is when I was drinking very heavily alone. There was like 2 times that I literally did the thing that they asked me to do. But if you were on that page, you knew exactly oh gosh, Josh is here. He is watching.
There was also a rumor that you may have been posting to these sites posing as your aunt.
Okay. Hold on.
Okay.
No, I was not. I would put money on the fact that it probably was my aunt.
Have you ever talked?
Okay. I'm going to be kind of honest here. Okay.
I think we have the same opinion here.
I'm going to be kind of honest. I kind of don't believe him here. And you know what? He could have been so drunk he didn't know he was doing it. And 2, I don't blame him if he actually did do it. Okay? Don't get me wrong. I'm not like beating him down. I don't blame him for doing any of that. But I get the vibe that he actually did it and it wasn't his aunt. I'm going to be
Why would
honest.
his aunt even do it?
You know what I'm saying? I kind of believe, exactly. Memory loss is a side effect of whatever, yes, I get it.
Like,
I honestly believe he actually was typing it. Yeah.
The maths is not mathing.
So, but here's the thing though. I really don't care if he was, to be honest, because I don't blame him for doing it. I don't blame him. The nasty shit they were saying about him on there, I don't blame him. I bet you there was nobody sticking up for him, and his quote-unquote aunt was the only one sticking up for him, so I don't blame him at all.
That's some creep show art shit right there.
So...
Talked to your aunt?
Nope. I never spoke to her about it. I have not had a conversation with any family member or friend about go to this site and say this type of thing. That never happened. There was a period within the first 6 months of everything happening. It was chaos, and people were saying that I cheated, which I did not, or that I was not. One of my friends at the time, and I'm no longer close with this person.
Because remember, he said he was drinking heavily at that time too.
Yeah.
So I mean, it could have been just him drinking and going on there.
Was adamant. You got to go in there. You got to create names. You got to create whoever you want to be, and go drop the truth, because this narrative is going to continue. It's going to continue, and you won't have a way to fight against it. And for a while, I would sit there and really think about it. But then I thought, there's no way I could get away with that. It was something that had crossed my mind many, 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 many times. If I'm being really honest with you, it doesn't make me look good. I wanted to create an account. I wanted to, especially like when I saw the evolution, when there's someone like an Ask Me Anything on Reddit that has been verified as someone in my life, and they have gone on to say things about me that I'm like, that's not true. And who are you? You're not getting the facts right, but they're accepting it as truth. The AMA sent me to a dark, dark place because what they were saying wasn't true about me. So now I don't have a voice, and if I even try.
Hey people, stay off Reddit. It's evil. Okay.
Yeah, there's no point.
Shout out to Frenemies 3 though. I went to go check on Frenemies 3 and they are down. They got banned.
Good.
Frenemies 3. No, Frenemies 3 was the good one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Frenemies 3 was the good one. But yeah, stay off Reddit. It's normally evil.
Try to have a voice, they'll be like, you're just trying to catch up from other people that got there first.
Wait, what's the timestamp I'm going to? Because I could have sworn it said 58. Yeah, 58:39. All right.
Interesting. I don't want to make assumptions, but you had said something earlier where it sounded like, when she said, don't speak about me, don't say my name, all of those types of things. Did you feel that for a period of time, that there was a level of silencing that was being done to you in regards to being able to speak about your experience in that relationship?
I absolutely felt silenced. And I felt like I didn't know specifically then that she was orchestrating things, because what she presented online was not go after him. But what she was saying to people in DMs was, he's this, he's that, making fun of me.
I hold everything. I have a monthly breakdown and everything comes out, Josh. There are scenes and dialogue based on true events in season 2, but you didn't hear it from me, and that's the mother effing tea. See, that she would tell them to go after him without telling them to go after him. The Weenies chat, and this is what I always describe the Weenies chat as. The Weenies chat was her generals of all her good little soldiers. That was her generals. That was the kids that were like the cool kids that were in the chat with Colleen. They got the inside information. So when she pointed them in the direction towards Josh, then they would go towards Josh, and then all the little teeny boppers would go right behind them. They were her generals in her army.
They were flying monkeys.
Yep.
Yeah.
Critiquing things, making claims about me that are not true, things that never happen. But anytime I did try
right there.
to open me that are not true,
Hold on.
things that never happen.
Right here. Being screamed at every day for hours and being told your whatever is not love. You're making a marriage a priority. Just want to throw that out there. She's literally making them think she's getting screamed at every day. And they love Colleen. That is their favorite adult in the world. Of course they want to go out there and, protect Colleen.
Yeah.
That's like a narcissistic trait as well, is like turning around and like making sure that other people think that you're a victim at some point too. Like,
Yeah.
Yep.
Even though, like, there could very well be periods where they would have, arguments or disagreements or something like that. But saying to a bunch of kids that they're being screamed at every day for hours, it doesn't seem right.
And you gotta think, these kids don't know what it is to be married. These kids don't understand adult fights. They don't understand adult arguments. They don't understand any of that.
Yeah.
And you're having these little kids, and you're having these little kids fight for your marriage. Okay, what?
And our Sage Warrior in chat's like, can we say Darvo? And it's like, yes. If you guys haven't heard of like Darvo, it's
please
basically
explain
like
that, because I've seen that with this Colleen thing this whole time.
Yeah.
What? Darvo,
Yeah.
explain it.
So it stands for D, denies responsibility, A, attacks you, R, reverses roles of V, victim, and O, offender, the abuser. So like it's literally like a step-by-step of how narcissists basically change the narrative and makes out that they're the victim and that you're the abuser.
Right. And the chick tries.
So that's exactly what she does. Yeah.
The chick says she could have just declined marriage and moved on, but why would she? She had total control of him. She had total control. It's about control. It wasn't about love. It wasn't about anything else but having control over somebody.
Yeah.
That's what I believe, allegedly for entertainment purposes only. You know?
Yeah.
But anytime I did try to open up, the amount of hate, the passionate hate that I would get from the people online, it was just never ending. And even when I would stop talking about it or alluding.
How the actual
what's this
fuck
one?
I would have time to cheat when I was creating, writing, executive producing, and starring my own Netflix show, while posting 4 videos a week and also talking to my partner for hours every single night after working a 16-hour day just to be whatever and told I was something other than 3 hours of sleep I got. When could I cheat? Tell me. And she's saying it in the weenie chat full of these fucking kids, bro.
Yeah.
Explain to me the logic.
They can't explain it to you because these are kids. They're children. Why
This is
are
an
you
adult? Exactly.
Why are you trauma dumping on these kids? This right here is trauma dumping. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. This is trauma dumping. You don't trauma dump to fucking 14, 15, 16-year-olds. What the fuck is wrong with you? You're a grown-ass 30-something-year-old woman. What is wrong with you? Don't you have adult friends? Go trauma dump to them. They're old enough to know what the fuck an adult is and about life. The fuck? Oh my God.
I mean, it says a lot if she doesn't have friends around her age.
The sad thing is she's got lots of friends. That's the
Yeah.
sad part. Evil fucking
Friends.
bitch, yo.
She was
Quote
just straight
unquote
up,
friends.
lying to her friends, telling them they had arguments on their honeymoon when they didn't.
Bro.
Oh, we're gonna get into that. We're getting into
good.
that.
And I would post a normal thing about nothing regarding that. The comments would be full of it. Full of go post a normal thing about nothing regarding that.
Just saw this too. Hold on. Just saw this too. Sounds like he is literally explaining what he has done to me for the past 8 years. How anyone could believe this breaks my heart. All I ever did was promote him and support him, and now he continues to, whatever, 10 months after everything, while I've stayed kind and loving no matter what he says or does. When will he just leave me alone? Anyway, I know I shouldn't even be saying anything. This, bro.
It's crazy.
Bro.
Bruh.
The comments would be full of it. Full of go end yourself. You know, you don't deserve to exist. I know where your next show is. I ended up hosting another end of VidCon party the next year. And the amount of death
D-Max said Colleen should have just taken someone else to prom and stopped telling the whole school.
Yeah.
True.
threats I got before that event terrified me. Because at this point, Christina Grimmie had been killed at a meet and greet. At a venue that I had performed in. She was not even like a personality type. She's just a wonderful hearted singer that has so much to give. And I had the thought of, well, if someone is innocent and to me as pure as her, it happened to her, well, there's a lot of people that don't like me. I have to take it seriously. I can't just be like, it's nothing. They're just being dramatic. I didn't believe that. I was scared to go on. I was scared. I had to tell my manager at the time, and they gave me security. I had never had security before. And it was so daunting and weird to think the reason why I have security just to go from backstage to the stairs of the stage was because someone might try to do something. And then that catapulted into my sister was getting those death threats. My little sister. I took it very seriously and I got angry. I got so angry because I knew that Colleen was aware of it. And I'm like, she could say one thing and stop this.
I was going to say she could have just one statement, one tweet could go a long way to provide some security for you.
But that wouldn't serve a purpose for her. She's not willing to step out and say, don't do this to him. She liked it. Again, like that moment on the bus, how dare I make her look bad in front of her fans? It was that times a billion. This wasn't a little moment on stage. This is, hey, he might say that maybe I'm not the greatest person. Maybe I mistreat people. Maybe I'm very selfish. So let me paint him to be far worse than he could ever say about me. And I'll shut him up. It worked. I did shut up. Am I innocent? No. Did we argue? Yeah. Did I say things that I regret? Absolutely. There's also a part of like control that still exists in your own heart and in your head where you feel like, I still have to vouch for this person. Because what if we work it out? What if things get okay? I don't want to badmouth her. Because we could work through this. I always thought we can work through it. We made vows. That's serious stuff. There had been...
Nah, you say fuck that bitch.
100%.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. So. I cannot believe this motherfucker got into this story. I was so... Because I believe this has got to be the next one. This has got to be the next one. Yes, it was. Because we did that. And then who else was involved? Okay, all right. Ladies and gentlemen. The alleged cat fucker appears. Allegedly for entertainment purposes only. Okay?
Work. I just don't think she has ever stepped up to the plate to do that.
There we go.
Bro, when I heard this, I had to tweet it out. I was like, what?
Yeah.
What?
Dude, I hadn't even watched it yet, and I saw you wrote that. I'm like, no, no spoilers, no spoilers, don't spoil.
Hey, technically it wasn't a spoiler, okay? Because I didn't say it was from the video. I just said Shane motherfucking Dawson, of course.
Yep.
But I knew what you were talking
Oh
about.
my god, bro.
I'm going to be completely honest. This next section brings someone into the situation I never expected to be named in this interview.
You had mentioned before about the divorce video. Was that a 10 steps ahead moment?
Okay, not gonna lie. I saw the timestamp because me and Mishi were watching it together, and we were like, someone who hasn't been, you won't guess who's in it or whatever. And we were like, who is it? Who is it? Who do you think it is? And I was like, well, what if it's Shane Dawson? And I was looking at my second screen, and then I saw the timestamp where it says Shane Dawson. I said, oh my God, Mishi, it's Shane Dawson! No! Listen, Shane Dawson has been, okay, so beauty drama era of my life, right? We didn't know until Toddy came out with it. Shane Dawson has been behind just about every single Dramageddon except for the first one.
Yeah.
He's been behind the scenes of every single Dramageddon except for the first one when the friend group broke up. He's been behind every single one. Shane Dawson is a snake in the grass, bro. He is just as bad as Jeffree Star when it comes to being a snake in the grass.
Oh, dude, Jeffree Star recently. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
But he ain't wrong though.
It's so weird to say that, isn't it? Like, it's so weird to say that.
That's why I had to tweet out, what world am I in when I'm agreeing with Jeffree Star? Holy shit. But he's been shopping that voice memo for years now. I think what Jeffree Star is hoping, I think Jeffree Star is hoping somebody hacks him, takes that voice memo, and then releases it. Because it can't directly come from him. Because he already knows the alleged victim, air quotes, alleged victim, okay? Because I have to put that there. Alleged victim, which, quite honestly, we all know who it is. But the alleged victim doesn't want it out there.
Yeah.
So I think he's hoping that somebody hacks into his shit and it gets released.
Yeah, he's gonna leave his phone on a bus or something.
Yeah, leave it in an Uber.
Jeffree Star on a bus.
Leave it in an Uber somewhere or something.
Yep.
Gonna be like, tray me,
bro.
I'd say that it was at least 3 steps ahead, maybe not 10. The divorce happened very suddenly. Things were bad. I knew things were off, and we were arguing all the time. She didn't ever want to talk to me. She never wanted to talk through it because she was either out of town and wouldn't talk to me out of town, or when she was always busy. I was shown some things when I was at Playlist in Washington, D.C. in 2016. Receipts, proof of things that she was doing.
Can you tell me what you're referring to?
Part of me still wants to protect her.
Nah, bitch, don't protect her, bro.
No.
Yeah, she doesn't deserve it.
Because what she was doing was awful.
At the very least, can you tell me what it has to do with?
This specific one was what she was saying about me behind the scenes on our honeymoon to another massive YouTuber. She basically said, I told Josh some things and he wrecked our hotel room.
She told this to another
Very
creator.
large YouTuber, yes.
Okay. Can I ask who that was?
Why not? Shane Dawson.
Okay.
Shane motherfucking Dawson.
Shane motherfucking Dawson.
Shane motherfucking Dawson. And then what did Shane do? Because he's a petty bitch, passed it around for everybody to see.
Yeah. Yep. Screenshot it and send it. Signed, sealed, delivered, fuckers. Have a look at this. Have a look at this new tea that I found out. You'll never
drama of it
believe
all.
this.
So
Yeah.
now that is someone else on the list that I would love for him to say something about Colleen right about now.
Oh,
I would
you know
love-
he's not. There's no way he would.
In my head, when Shane Dawson does something all like sneaky like that, he sits back and he's like, "These are the days of our lives."
Yes.
Yeah, he just wants to watch the world burn, doesn't he? Like,
Yes.
he loves this shit.
He does. He's petty as fuck. He is petty as fuck. Shane Dawson is actually he's almost like an evil mastermind. People
I know, like it's so entertaining.
Yeah, oh my god.
We went on our honeymoon, and we decided while we were in Hawaii, let's go to the beach with no cameras, and let's say new vows that are just for us. No one else will hear them, see them, experience them. And it was one of the most beautiful moments at the time in my life. To know that within 24 hours of us saying our vows all over again, she's telling one of the biggest YouTubers at the time that she said some stuff to me, I didn't like it, and broke things, when we didn't have a single fight on that trip.
This is what she told Shane Dawson.
Yes.
What actually happened?
None of that
Were you
happened.
told something and then you got emotional, or?
No, there was no fight, there was no argument. It was actually a really pleasant honeymoon experience. We didn't have any altercations, we didn't have anything. I was at Playlist, I had just had dinner with her family. She wasn't there, she was off doing some other thing. And then Steve Green was there with his now wife, Nikki, and they waved me over. And I said, okay, cool. We were just talking and laughing and just having a good time away from screaming teenagers. And then Nikki stopped and said, I can't hold this in anymore. And Steve was giving her a look like, no, don't do this. And she looked at me, and I'm paraphrasing here.
Mm-hmm.
She said, I'm supposed to hate you. But after spending just a few minutes with you, I don't, and I'm confused because the things that I've been shown about you don't add up to the person I'm talking to and the person that Steve says you are. She pulled out her phone, or it might have been his phone, but it was one of their phones, and they slid it across the table. And I'm like, what's this? And she just said, read it. And it was about me. And I was like, what is this? And they said, it's a screenshot of a text message between Colleen and Shane Dawson.
And I bet you Joey Graceffa got it. I bet you every single big YouTuber that stood up for her in 2020 got that shit. I bet you every single one of them got it. I bet you James Charles got that shit. I bet you, because remember, Shane and James Charles used to get along. Get along. All right? So
Yeah.
I bet you everybody got it. Everybody who stood up for her back in 2020 when oh my god, when what's his name? Adam came out with his video, and all of them that were sticking up for her on Twitter, I bet you they all got that screenshot. I bet you.
And I looked at the date, and I'm like, that's during our honeymoon. She texted that during our honeymoon, that I abused her, that I went ballistic. We didn't even have a fight. We didn't have an argument. She said, I'm not the only one that has this. This text has been passed around.
Who was passing it around? Was it Shane or was it Colleen?
Shane sent it. I don't think Colleen did. I mean, that's me assuming.
But you know that Colleen texted this to Shane,
I
and
saw
then
both of their
that
interaction,
screenshot
yes.
started getting shared with other.
Every YouTuber I could think of at that time, that I'm like, oh, so they all sit here and think that I went crazy on a honeymoon when nothing happened. And in that moment, that's when it all dawned on me.
Set up to fail, baby. Set up to fail.
Yeah.
Why in the world did you think that you were safe when she did that kind of thing about everybody else? Everybody else, she had shit to say.
That was a common thing.
You know what? And that is a good lesson, class, to learn. If you talk to someone and they talk shit about everybody else, they're going to talk shit about you.
Yep.
Yeah,
Just know that. Just know that. If they talk shit about I'm talking everybody else, they're going to talk shit about you.
Yeah.
And that's why you can't trust drama YouTubers. Just saying. All right, let's go.
She would
All
do.
the time. It's like a sport for her. She's a pro athlete when it comes to that. And we wrapped up the conversation, and like we hugged.
Wait, what?
She's a pro athlete for that. Like, you don't know. I think Shane Dawson's like the world champion, right? Like,
bro, Shane is
Hugged. And I excused myself to the hotel room, my hotel room, just me. And I sat there, and like I remember looking at my phone, and it was a picture of us from our honeymoon. And it went dark, and it just fell and thudded on the floor. And I sat there. The sun had pretty much gone down. I sat there facing a wall with the phone on the ground, just going, what have I got myself into?
Why do you think that she would send this message to Shane?
This is something I've never figured out. because when I got wind of that, then I started seeing more stuff. And that wasn't the only thing. She would make fun of me, dog on me, say I was embarrassing to her.
Just as a reminder, I've reached out to Colleen Ballinger for comment on all of this, and she has not returned comment. This is genuinely something that I'd like to hear her point of view on. And
She's not going to.
Nope.
We need Swoop to sit down with Colleen so bad. Holy fuck, bro.
I'm like manifesting this. I really want this to happen. Holy shit.
Oh my god, that was hilarious. Oh my god. Okay, what's this next one? Accountability.
And now for the part of the
Pause. Thank you. Wait. I want to get rid of that. Get rid of that one. All right. Okay, so taking accountability. Here we go.
Let's do it.
interview where I hold true to my word that in exchange for hearing him out on his painful experiences, I would make Joshua hear me out on all of the things that he has verifiably done wrong. This is the part where I ask Joshua directly to take accountability for his actions. I have seen some comments saying how it is problematic to platform someone who admits to doing bad things. Why? Why is that problematic? The thing is, I think it would be problematic to ignore the people that this story directly affects, and each of them have expressed publicly.
What?
I think you're not showing this screen. You're showing the other one that's paused.
No, I'm not.
Showing
I'm showing it.
Maybe it's just my internet. Maybe it's my internet. I'm sorry.
Oh. I was like, wait a minute.
It's like paused on Swoop with the face, and that's like.
Oh well, it was at first.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Sorry.
Or privately, that they want to hear directly from the people who failed them, and that they want them to take accountability. For whatever reason, Joshua is the only one who is even attempting to do this right now. He has said that doing this on his platform would be detrimental to his mental health. So I have to ask then, why not here? Why not now? I've sat for nearly 24 solid hours worth of interviews with Adam, Joshua, John, Becky, Oliver, Alex, Soph, Bella, and others, and it has been insightful, and also, I mean, it's been exhausting. This has been a long process for a lot of people, but this isn't for me. This is for every person affected in this story who deserves to hear it straight. These people failed them. And this is what accountability could look like if we're open to it. So you be the judge.
Okay, so this isn't going to be fun. You know, my team and I have been obviously digging into all of everything about this story, and the Miranda Sings character, the content, what you have been involved in. You did say something to me off camera that was interesting to me in regards to talking about these more difficult topics where we're going to talk about accountability. And you had said that this is kind of the easiest thing for you to talk about. Mm-hmm. And I'm curious why, what about this that we're going to get into is easier in your opinion?
I didn't know if I was going to talk about this, but the way you phrased the question, I'm just trying to be as transparent as I can, and the one thing popped in my head. I was for a very long time after all this happened, to the point where I had a handwritten will in my pocket for Pamela, my wife. I was very much at peace with the idea, that's a weird way to say it, that if I go, I go. The reason why I say that is because when you're there and you have given up everything that comes along with that, when you decide, no, I'm going to get up, I'm going to choose something else. When you truly make that choice, you also have to make the choice of, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to face myself. So if I'm going to face my demons, I have to face all of my demons, not just the ones I want to deal with, that feel easy to deal with. I've done a lot of hard work on myself, and I'm very proud of that. And it took me years of work of becoming sober and dealing with any lies that I would perpetuate myself, and isms I had within myself, excuses I would make. I had to face each one by one. And before I decided to live, I wasn't going to do that.
I mean, good for him for that, you know?
Yeah.
Good for him with that. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Do. Hold on a second. Do. Just waiting for my chat to catch up. And while I'm waiting for my chat to catch up, how far am I going to? 136.29. All right. Where are we going? 136.29. My chat cut up yet? All right. Hold on. Oh, already gone? Yes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you. Because I was about to strike like the dragon I am.
I'm already on it.
I wasn't ready to do that. I didn't want to do that. I wanted out. I just wanted out. I was tortured when I was awake. I was tortured when I was asleep. I had no escape of the kind of thoughts that were always in my head after all of this happened. So there are things that I am responsible for and took part in, that I needed to say to myself, you did that. You could have stopped it. You could have not done it. You could have said no. You could have just walked away, and you didn't. So if you're going to continue on, let's be the best version that you can be. And the only way that happens is if I do the work to do it. So when I say it's easy for me to talk about, I don't mean like it's nothing and it holds no weight. It's more that I've been through this thought process. I have exposed the worst parts of myself to the people I care about the most. I've already gone through the guilt and facing it and pointing fingers at myself every single day and hating myself to my core. So if we need to talk about things, let's talk about them.
I think that there are...
What do you think, Bunny? I feel like this is your part that you were kind of... Is this your part?
Yeah, this is around, I think, one of the times where I thought, okay, buddy, like, get your head out of your ass a little bit. But he does it even more, like, on down close to the end, where I was just like, holy shit, this guy.
You know what
by the end of it, he irritated the shit out of me.
Well, you know what it might be, though? Okay? And I'm just going to give you a perspective here. You know what it might be? It might be that he was so down on himself for so long that that's what he does to build himself back up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes.
You know? I mean, it might be that. Because I know sometimes when people, like, are in the process of building themselves back up, they sometimes overcompensate. You know? So
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. I do get what you're saying. But
he did it so many times that it was hard for me not to lean that way by the end of it.
Yeah, no, I get you. All of this is bullshit if he's still in those chats as accused. I don't think he is in those chats, D-Max. I don't think he's in those chats anymore. He left those chats when they got divorced, I believe.
Yeah, he didn't want to be involved with her at ever. Like,
yeah, like he left the entire internet.
Yeah.
A lot of people, could say thousands, hundreds of thousands, who think that this is a long time coming.
Sure.
Very briefly before I do, you said one thing that I would like to ask you about. You said that you were tortured. Was that in reference to what you went through with Colleen?
Yeah. Again, I'll talk about this. I saved myself for marriage, and I gave it to her.
Okay, here's Chase. Chase says Peter Mon said he sounds like someone who's been going through recovery.
Yeah. Well, he did say he was doing a lot of therapy and all that sort of stuff. He's been through it himself. So, like, I think it's very natural for you to think that way about yourself, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, the way that is sort of, I guess, the way you're saying is harping on about it. It's kind of putting on, almost like tittering on like that poor me sort of thing, and it's kind of, it's off-putting. It is.
Oh, D-Max, are you thinking of Johnny and not Josh? Johnny was the one that was in the chats for the extended amount of time. Josh, this is Josh. This is the ex-husband. Johnny in the last episode was the one that was still in chats. I think you're getting Johnny and Josh mixed up, D-Max.
Which is totally fine, because we've been doing that as well. All the J names, right?
Yeah, it's understandable.
Yeah.
Okay, because I was like, what's D-Max talking about? And then Rose was like, Johnny was in the chats if you're confused. No, it's all good. Because Johnny, Josh, I've been messing up. Yeah, all good, bro.
So this wasn't just, hey, this public relationship that was benefiting you, crash and burned. It was your whole life's goal and standards you set for yourself and gifts you thought you were saving meant nothing. Meant absolutely nothing. You're a joke. I remember right when it happened and I took a month off from YouTube, I went home to Georgia to be surrounded by family. The first place I walked into, it was like an Applebee's. I sat down and TVs were playing. I look up and my face is on the screen. And I felt so embarrassed. I felt so exposed. I had been used to people recognizing me, but now it's different. And so I can't go and have a meal without seeing it. Aren't you now the ex-husband? Aren't you that guy? What really happened? When my eyes were open, I was tortured. I couldn't go anywhere online without being told every day that I'm nothing, that I did deserve it. Everyone was just attacking me. And then when I would try to sleep, I would shut my eyes and it felt like 1,000 channels were going off in my mind. And every single channel was a channel designed to make me hate myself more. And I just felt no release. I felt no way of escaping any of it. And that's when drinking became a whole different thing for me. It became the only thing that chilled my mind out enough.
I get it. I really get it.
Yeah.
And it was okay and manageable at first. But then it took over and it became the thing that I needed I needed that more than I needed anything else. There was no out for me. That's why eventually I started looking at alcohol as like, cool, if you take me out, at this point I'm okay with it. So yes, I felt tortured. I was absolutely tortured. So.
Well, I would like to revisit that, what you just shared a little bit later,
Sure.
and I appreciate you being open about that experience. Being able to discuss is not an easy thing to share.
True. Very true. All right. Okay, we're going here.
Let me ask you though.
Pause, bitch. Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Let me jump in, because if you say, you know, you were periodically, let's say, jumping in, kind of chiming in, are you sure you want to do this? Was that more so from the perspective of, is this a good PR move?
It was very much kind of me going, is this where you want to take it? But then I also felt like I can't speak up because, of course, I'm the one with the problem. I'm the one with an issue with it. It doesn't ever go well when I speak out against certain things and choices. And so I became very complicit. Very complicit. It got worse and worse and worse. The uncle jokes kept happening. I kept going to shows as just her partner, not even in the show. And I would see the audience change and get younger and younger and younger.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're in it and you're living in it every day, and she's filming every day around you, I'm not saying this is okay, but you become numb to it in a way. And she asked me to be involved in certain videos, and I said yes. And I'll be honest with you, the reason I said
I actually understand that because it became norm. It became the norm.
Right.
You know, and you're seeing it every day. I can understand where it's this man like you would hope that he was the adult in the room and say stop and shut it down. But then if you look at it, Colleen had so much power over him. From the way he describes, Colleen had power over him months into their relationship. As soon as she saw him, as soon as he saw her cheating, and all she had to say was, I'll leave you, and then he just accepts it and stays, she had power over him from that point on. And she knew it. And she just and what it sounds like is as time was going, she was pushing the boundaries, pushing them and pushing them and pushing them. And all he did was take it, and take it. So,
Yeah.
Plenty of people, my bio states, I don't.
Look, no, there's this fucking troll that keeps coming up, like, with about 20 accounts, and it's getting really fucking irritating. So if you can't be respectful to other people in the chat, don't be here.
Yes. Exactly. Exactly. Do we need to mod somebody? D-Max, type in the chat. D-Max, type in the chat. Yes, there we go. All right. No, don't hide them. Almost hid you, bro. All right, there we go. Wait, is this the one I'm in? Yes. All right. All right, and we continue.
yes was because I knew if I appeared in videos, it would help me too. It would expose me to a bigger audience, which means maybe I can do YouTube full time.
So if you're saying that you knew, okay, this is getting bad, this has escalated beyond anything that you ever thought it would, and you're saying, I would never do something like that, but then you do, and you start to participate.
Right.
And then you say, you participated in this, you start making those bad things that I would never do. What I'm hearing is that you were willing to create this inappropriate content for views.
I was willing to participate in things that were inappropriate because it was going to benefit me. It's going to benefit me professionally and financially.
Did it occur to you at the time when you're like, I would never do that, but now I'm doing it because I'm getting the views? Did you have pause and think, holy shit, this is also really awful?
I did have a lot of pause, and I was a coward. And I gave up trying to interject, and then I fully embraced it for myself. Was I writing the content? No. Was I suggesting the content? No. Was I in it, participating, adding to it? Absolutely, yes. Because again, at the time, you're surrounded with it. It is unfortunately very normalized. Things that you think you will never do or be a part of becomes very normal when everyone's cheering, everyone's clapping, everyone's laughing. The views are getting bigger, the shows are getting bigger, and these jokes are killing it. You become desensitized to it.
Clout is a hell of a drug. That's exactly what he's describing. Clout is a hell of a drug.
point where like, well, maybe it's not that bad. But when you get out of it, when you're not in that dynamic anymore, when I was removed, I didn't remove myself.
Do you think you would have removed yourself at some point, or
no,
you
I
would have
don't
just
think I
continued
would've-
to do that content?
Absolutely.
And I'm curious because, you know, we're talking kind of, there's these parallels, right? You know, you're participating in the content, but you were also participating just on a no cameras around life happening. And you were in these tiny chats and the group chats, you know, running around town. I'm not sure if you saw, but Adam just did a live stream today of a video that was sent to him, and it's on a fan's channel. They had done a vlog video with you and Colleen, and
London.
it looks to be in Europe. And you and Colleen are hanging out with these two in a hotel room for quite a period of time, and you're at a restaurant together, but you were alone in a hotel room with them. And then they looked like they were maybe backstage, or they were attending a show that happened in that same trip. And, you know, in certain degrees, I hear what you're saying when you're talking about, okay, things kind of spiraled, they escalated with the content. But the content has a stop and a start, you know, start and a stop button when you're recording, and you go through the edit process, you put it out there. So that's one area that's problematic, you know, at best. But then when we look at you're actually physically living life, taking the photos and the video that we saw, you know, you're sitting on the couch kind of squeezed up next to who quite literally says, this is uncomfortable or this is awkward. You can hopefully understand why there's
Yes, they were, Kayla.
so much confusion and hurt and anger and question about not just how do you get to a place where you're willing to make this content for views and to exploit for clicks and likes and sponsors and all of that, but also carry it into real life. How do you go from, I would never do that, to now I'm doing that in content, to, oh, now I'm squeezing up next to on a sofa who says this is uncomfortable?
Hey, quit timing that quit deleting it. Get rid of them. Get them gone.
We have, like, we're hiding them. They've got like 20 accounts or
Jesus
50 accounts or
Christ.
some bullshit. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's all the same name.
Oh God, I hate people. I will say this. What he did was very inappropriate things, obviously.
Yeah.
But at least he's being an adult and he's like taking accountability for it.
Yeah.
I feel like kind of, because I just feel like it's such an easy cop out to say, well, it was just normalized around me and stuff. It's like, but by the time you got into all this, you were a full grown adult who already knew right from wrong. So why did you just forget that? Like that, I don't know. There's no excuse for that, I feel like.
I feel like the clout got to him, to be honest.
Yeah, that's not an excuse to me. I mean,
I'm not saying it's an excuse. It's not an excuse. Believe me, I'm not saying what he like. I'm not giving him an excuse.
Yeah.
I'm just like I'm trying to understand why he let that shit slide.
Yeah,
You know
I just can't give him any pity on any of this stuff,
Yeah. No,
especially when his reasoning is, oh, everybody around me was cool with it, so.
Listen, I
like,
can't blame you. There's kids involved. I can't blame you. You know, all you're talking about is protecting kids. I can't blame you at all. I can't blame you for feeling that way at all. Because when it boils down to it, there was kids involved.
Yeah, and he was an adult when he came into all this, so he knew right from wrong.
First, I'll say none of it's right. None of it's okay. I remember early on in those stages, she had a type click, an original click called the Cookies, I believe they were called. She would have these tiny chat conversations. There'd be plenty of times that I'd be like, oh, cool, I'll hop in, and I'd hop in. It felt innocent at the time, and then it just kept progressing. I normalized it in my head, and I said, well, this is not, I didn't start this, I'm just in the background. And I made excuses, not that it.
Yeah, Salmon has a good point. I don't think we're giving him pity either. It's just, hey, good on you for talking about it like an adult. Because goddamn, every other adult's not talking about it like an adult. Look what Johnny did.
Yeah, that is true. I still feel like I don't know, I would have liked a better, like, I don't want to say excuse, because I guess excuse
I'm gonna be
isn't the
honest
right
with
word,
you.
but
I'm going to be honest with you. Had that have been one of my kids, I wouldn't have gave a fuck what came out of his mouth years later.
yeah.
If that was one of my kids, I don't even want to hear your explanation. I'm not going to want to hear what you got to say about it.
Yeah.
If that was one of my kids, oh no. I don't want to hear
it's something
nothing.
about
So
how
I
he's
get it.
explaining it, though, that is, like, very cop-outy to me. That's just what it feels like to me.
Yeah.
Like, he could be more honest, I feel like, on that specific part.
I just don't know what else he can say, though. Like, what else would he be
I
able
feel like
to
he
say?
could just straight up say that the money got to my head, so I'll let
Well,
shit
he
slide.
did.
Because
He did. That's what he said. He said he
Oh,
did it.
well.
That he said that he probably still would have done it because he was getting fame. He was getting the money. He was getting the subscribers. He was getting basically he was literally describing the he was literally describing the term clout is a hell of a drug. He was literally describing that.
Okay,
He was basically yeah. He does say it. He does explain that's why he was doing it. That's why, and he probably still would have done it because the clout was getting there. He was getting clout off of doing it. You know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, in all honesty, I don't know what else more he could say.
Yeah, if he said all that, then he said it all.
But me personally, if I was one of the parents, there's not a damn thing he could say. If I was one of the parents of those kids, there wouldn't be a damn thing you'd be able to say to me about that.
It still rubs me the wrong way for some reason. I don't know.
It's okay. But it didn't feel like the topics were inappropriate, even though the situation was inappropriate. I remember Colleen saying, they're going to meet us at this place. We're going to have, it's a chicken place.
How did you know to have this meeting even scheduled?
They were part of the original fan group, the Cookies, I believe. And if I'm not saying the right name of the group, it was that original.
Cookies, yes.
Yeah. When she had shows in Europe, they made plans to meet up. I didn't make that plan. I was there with her and absolutely participated. I absolutely never said you shouldn't do this. I, again, in my mind, had normalized that this was okay because it's out in public. I know.
But you were in a hotel room.
No, right.
Because, yeah.
No, right.
I mean, I do have to kind of interject a little bit, though, because I think it's a little more than it wasn't weird. I think it was extremely weird and very concerning. And how do you go from like, oh, I've got these fans that I'm getting this attention from and I'm getting the clicks and likes and this feels so good to let's meet up with them to let's go to our hotel room. How does that happen and still have the rationale of thinking, oh, this is no big deal?
I guess because none of it's right. I'm not saying it's right. If it was an awkward picture taken and I thought it was funny, it's not funny. It's wrong. What I remember from that time was we're going to go and meet them and have lunch. And that was all that was sold to me. Then in the middle of that...
Who was telling you this? Colleen?
Yeah. Okay. And then that progressed to, hey, do you guys just want to come back to the hotel? Or it wasn't a hotel, it was a flat.
Is there much of a difference?
Probably, probably not.
Well, a flat is probably more private than a hotel, right?
I don't know. I don't think we have flats here. What's the difference between a flat and a hotel?
A flat is kind of like an apartment or like a unit or something like that on the one block. So it's it could be like shared amongst like a couple of different dwellings. But it's not like a hotel where you've got a lobby and there's a lot of people around and like security and all that sort of stuff. It's more like an apartment, I guess. Yeah, a ground level apartment.
But in all honesty, does it matter if it was a flat or a hotel?
No, it doesn't. The whole situation is more it's all inappropriate. But the thing is, like, trying to justify the difference between a hotel and a flat. If you're going to try and do that, then a flat is more private than a hotel.
Yeah.
In me not saying, Colleen, we can't have them come in here. We can't do that. You have to tell them to go. I didn't say that. I didn't do that. Looking back on it, I would say, what the hell were you doing? There were a lot of times that I should have just put my foot down and said no. But I, again, pushed that all down and normalized it for myself and made decisions that when I look back on them, I am appalled at things that I didn't stand
this
up to
is the
and
part
didn't
that bothers
choose
me.
to see a bigger picture there. There are things that are far more important that I just did not look at in the way that I should have, and I regret those choices.
Right. So what do you think?
There's something about like, it's like, yeah, but you were an adult and you didn't say anything. So what, like, nothing that you say now matters to me. Like, like, yeah, it's great that you recognize it in hindsight years later and stuff, or however long later. But like, you were still an adult who did not say anything and you went along with it. Like, that's, I don't know.
You know what I just realized? That's why our names aren't popping up. We're in the wrong chat. We're in on air instead of the broadcast.
Oh, we're dumb.
That's why our name wasn't popping up. I was like, what? Why? I was looking at it going, how come nobody's bubble's popping up? It's because we're in on air and not the broadcast. Okay. Anyway. All right. Anywho. All right. The tiny chats. Wait, that's just going into the next one, right?
I think so. I think I just skipped a little bit of it. No, did I or not?
No, it goes into okay. Hold on.
Yeah. All right.
15806. All right, we'll just stay here. Oh wait, you had a problem. Okay, what was your problem, Bunny?
Oh, my problem is just that he didn't say no. Like, I don't give a shit about anything he has to say, really, because my whole thing is you were an adult when it happened, you didn't say no. Like, and I know that Colleen had a lot of control over him and stuff, but like, I don't know. When it comes to putting a child in danger, that'd have to be an awful lot of control for me to do that.
I think you absolutely have the right to feel that. No, I think you have absolutely every right to feel that way. I mean, because it's still for the good of children, you know? I mean, I get what you're saying. I get exactly what you're saying. I think you have every right to feel that way. 100%.
Yeah,
I can't fault you for that. I cannot fault you for that. Dreamy says, not excusing him, but these kinds of behaviors were a lot more normalized at that time. That's actually kind of true. Back then, people were getting like super close to their. Look what Shane Dawson did. Back then, he kissed one of his fans. That she was young. You know, Bro, all the old YouTubers, I feel like most of them just need to be thrown away. Honestly. Yeah. Most of them just need to be thrown away. Literally.
You mentioned the tiny chats. In my interview with Johnny, he mentioned that you and Colleen, and I believe maybe even Corey, would spend 4 to 5 days a week, 2 to 3 hours a day in these tiny chats.
I would not put myself in the same grouping as the amount of times he's saying. They were doing tiny chats with or without us being a part of it.
They meaning?
They.
Okay, I'm gonna let this play. I'm gonna go grab my 2-liter real quick. All right, I'll be right back.
Being that little crew of fans, it was very known that a group of them would hop on and do this a lot, and they would tweet to us all the time, hop on, we're chatting, we're talking about you, hop on, it would be so cool if you hopped on for 5 minutes. It was just constant, so I always knew when they were on because they would let me know that they were on. The amount of times I was a part of it compared to how Colleen was, because Colleen was initially the first one to be involved in that, it's a vast ratio. Yes, I was in it, absolutely, but was I doing it as consistently as I saw her doing it? No.
Well, how often were you doing it?
When I look back on that time, I would say I participated in 5 to 10 amounts, 5 to 10 times.
Like in total?
In total.
For the whole...
Yeah, it was not I'm hopping on every day with them. I knew they were on every day.
And if you're saying 5 to 10 times, for how long?
For a span of like a year that I knew they were doing it. It's a weird place to be in. At the time, it was like the right thing to do is to interact with those people, to encourage them to watch more of your stuff, hope that they would share it with their friends, and that you would slowly build a fan base. Meet and greets were always huge. Giveaways were always huge.
One of the things that Johnny had brought to my attention was, and he said this, I believe, publicly as well, that there was an instance of you turning off your camera and that you had changed your name to Johnny and then kind of appeared as a surprise towards the end of the chat. What's the story there?
This was during the time where every night I was getting, we're on chat, I think, and they would say, I think Josh is in the chat. He's in the chat.
Okay, I think this is such a mute point. I don't give a fuck about him changing his name to Johnny. The fact that, the more important fact is that he was in the tiny chats with the kids. I don't give a fuck about him and him changing the name of Johnny because they all used to change their names around.
Yeah, I feel like though the way he went about that and just going in there to check on people and what they're saying about him and trying to lurk and whatever, it's kind of it's weird. It's weird how that comes across, and to like sort of kind of spy on people that like are like underage or like, you know, in the fandom. It's kind of like why does that matter to you? Why do you care about what some kids say?
There's some key elements missing here in this dude's head, I feel like. I don't know. The longer the video goes on, the more I feel like that too. And I'm glad I'm feeling like that again, because the first time I watched it, I was like, okay, did I just like, I don't know, zone out and miss a bunch of... No, I'm still feeling the same way. There's something not right about him to me.
Yeah.
I wasn't on the chat, and it was just constant. When I hear, oh, it happened every night, It did, but not with me in it. It got to be a thing where, is Josh in the chat or is Josh not in the chat? I can't tell. This person sounds like Josh. And I made a terrible mistake that I look back on and I think is creepy as hell that I did it. I thought, I'm going to go on, but I'm not going to say I'm on because I want to see what they say. I want to see what they say when they don't think I'm there. Lighthearted. Not like, oh, I'm going to catch them. If I add to the chat, but I don't say it's me, what are they going to say? And I made the stupid decision of alluding that I was Johnny. And then eventually was like, oh, it's not Johnny, it's me. Got you. And at the time...
You say alluding. Did you specifically change your name to say Johnny?
I don't remember, but I absolutely know that I made it seem like it was him, but not in a way of like giving personal details about him or saying like opinions.
Well, you understand how it comes across though, right?
Yeah.
Where people, hear that you were, at least in this instance, maybe there were other times that you did this, where you're essentially eavesdropping on a chat.
Mm-hmm. It's weird. It's gross. And
I think a lot of people would say it's beyond.
I'm gonna be honest. I think it was weird and gross that he was in the tiny chat with kids anyway, whether his name was Johnny or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
Either
God.
way, it's just wrong.
Yeah.
It is.
Sounds weird even to just trying to understand why
taking
why
that.
that's something that you would want to do with your time
It
without them knowing.
Sure. A lot of that is absolutely true, what you're saying. It didn't feel like that at the time.
Because I think that the challenge that people have, even if they want to wrap their brains around like, just the tiny chats of it all, but even you saying that these are people that I knew, that I interacted with, retweets, the chats, all of, you're having all of these interactions, I hear what you're saying when you're talking about.
Okay, I do agree with, I want to say Shenny. I hope I am saying your name correctly. I can tell he is ashamed and feels embarrassed by it. I feel like that he feels that way too. Like it's embarrassing. You know what I mean? Like he's like, he knows he did wrong.
But did he feel like that when it happened?
No, obviously he didn't. He kept doing it.
Yeah,
Back then, obviously he didn't. Because if he did, he wouldn't have done it.
Yeah, there's just something missing.
Yeah, it's the amount of insecurity I think he had at the time as well to try and feel validation in one way or the other, and he's doing it the wrong way. Like he was looking at kids in a chat trying to see what they were saying about him, and like that's just like the most extreme level of trying to seek validation there is. Like I don't understand why he would even be there in the first place, and that's just really weird.
And what people need to understand too, like, I know Adam and him are good. Adam and him have talked. But the whole point of this interview is basically for everybody else to put their input. And quite honestly, if people don't want to forgive him for what he did, they have that right. Because when it boils down to it, these were kids you're talking about.
Yeah.
And whether you want to forgive him for what he did or not, that's totally up to your individuality. You don't have to forgive him. You do not have to forgive him. Because when it boils down to it, kids were involved.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the thing as well. Like, in my opinion, I don't feel like it's anyone's place to really forgive him or say if he's wrong or right, if you weren't involved in it as well. Like there's a kind of like a line there too, is like it's not for us to say whether if he's telling. I know it's kind of weird to say that, considering that we're commentating on it and giving our feelings on it, which is like valid as well. But the thing is that like it's up to those kids and those chats and those parents of those kids.
Ultimately,
yes. Like that.
Yes. Ultimately, it's based on how they feel. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I will say we also, listen, this was put out for public consumption. And if we feel some kind of way about it, listen, I understand. Like I even tweeted out for him, good on you for talking about this, right? But when it boils down to it, it was still kids. And I can tell you, if I was one of those parents, I probably would have tried to catch a charge.
Yeah. Yeah, to be honest, I'll be there too.
And the one thing, and this is why I like us doing our podcast so much, is that we come from different areas of the internet. We come from different areas of life, okay? And not everybody is going to agree with it, and we're not always going to agree with the narrative. All right.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
And I understand the narrative is Stan Johnny because he's the ex-husband of Colleen, and Colleen treated him like the ultimate shit, and I get it. She fucking emotionally, I believe she emotionally and psychologically abused his ass. Absolutely, 100%. But he still did wrong.
He was still complicit.
Yeah.
He was still complicit.
Two truths can be what's it called? What's the fucking
Right at
song?
the same time.
Yeah, right at the same time. There you go.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's not about running narratives, it's about how you actually feel about it. So
Yeah, exactly.
There was an era of YouTube, and I don't know, maybe if it's still something that happens now, but where creators were interacting with fans, and that was what you do, and the surprise meetups and all that kind of thing. But there's a lot of lines that are being crossed there.
Yeah, absolutely. In retrospect, that makes perfect sense to me. I wouldn't disagree with anything you're saying. And I hate saying it like this, but it was so normalized. And I'm not saying normalized is okay. I'm saying that as this kind of slowly took off and YouTube was becoming bigger and bigger as a thing that people could do for a living, you start to interact with anyone that interacts with your stuff. And you just think this is how you do it. You interact, you build your fan base, they get to know you, you get to know them. I was never seeking it out originally. I was never like, ooh, y'all come over here and let's talk. Let's have a private thing. It was, hey.
I don't even have okay. Every now and then I get a tick up of underage viewers, and I don't want them. I don't want anyone under the age of 18 watching me. I say that shit all the time, all right? I don't even like to talk to the adult viewers of mine. I don't even like to be in DMs with them.
Yeah.
True.
I can interact with you on open Twitter, cool. All right, it's open Twitter. I do not know. I've already had situations happen where people have a tendency to get way too close just because you're in a DM with them, and all of a sudden they think you're best friends, and you're like, bitch, I'm not your friend. What are you talking about? I mean, been there, done that. That's why I don't even like talking to them. I don't even like talking to them. Shit.
Yeah.
Oh, exactly, Bae. Please don't message me your problems that I helped you sleep to forget. Bae ASMR says, ASMR brings out the fucking weirdos, but the community of creators is so solid. Well, that's good at least. At least the community's solid. I can imagine ASMR bringing out some freaks. Just saying. I can imagine.
Hey, this is happening. Josh, come over here. Josh, are you online? Josh, if you're online, hop in the chat for a few minutes. I just got back from running errands. Sure, I can hop on. I'm on my laptop anyway, probably editing something or doing something else. Sure, I'll hop on. But again, 39-year-old me now would not do that.
I would certainly hope not after all of everything that's happened.
I just mean, like, regardless of YouTube and exposure and what people are saying, just me as a human being, I would not choose to do those things. And I wish I could have said that back then. You know, it was wrong.
Now, since I conducted this interview with Joshua.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So from this point onward, I've sort of excluded a lot of it. There's apart from one of the victims, and there is a part about racism and stuff as well, which if you haven't seen that, go and watch that, because she definitely has strong feelings on one of the parts that he was playing in one of the videos that they uploaded, like a music video, and she has some words to say to him about that. But I feel like for the sake of time, I just had to sort of cut a few things out. So definitely go watch this on your own from start to finish, because there's a lot of things we're jumping around on. So
or just wait for Xylie. Okay, so let me go ahead and explain this. Okay, I'm going over the entire video. I was going to do it tomorrow, but my husband is coming back tonight. So he'll probably be walking in the door as I'm doing my midnight cabal meeting. So I'm going to spend the day with my husband tomorrow. Aww. And, I have to get him ready for work because he's been gone for a week. And Monday we go live here at 10, and I need to do a member stream. So Tuesday, which I haven't put it on my community post yet, but Tuesday and Wednesday, I'm going to do it. We're going to do this video, and then Wednesday after the broadcast stream, I'm going to do the rest of the video. So it's going to be Tuesday, guys. I'm sorry. Mr. Xylie comes first,
Absolutely.
So I haven't seen him in a week.
So in that case, go to Xylie's channel and watch the whole thing.
Yeah, we'll watch the whole
Yeah.
thing. Or excuse me, we will react to the whole thing. Okay.
Yeah,
React.
keyword.
So, is that
All
a
right,
Destiny
so-
2 reference? No. What? Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. Okay.
So yeah, this is Johnny now. We're getting into Johnny, guys.
Woo! Oh wait, hold on. I'm sorry. I have to look at the timestamp again because I forgot. I'm going 227, and then I'll click that one. 253. All right, 227. 227. All right.
Hi, I am Xylie Silvestri.
On June 7th, 2023.
I hate that little bastard.
Oh, his face now. I'm like, ugh.
Johnny,
Yeah.
Johnny, come talk to me. As Xylie gets real. Johnny, I still have specific questions for you. Ugh.
A man named Jonathan Silvestri took to Twitter to accuse Josh of harming him. As the Clean Ballinger story blew up on social media, Johnny tweeted allegations of varying severity at Joshua hundreds of times in around 2 months and shared his allegations on the H3 podcast, the Do We Know Them podcast with Lily and Jesse, and with me in a number of interviews.
He is a little weasel. He is a little weasel. Yes. He is a little weasel. Look at that weaselly little face right there.
I mean, he quite literally looks like one. So.
He literally looks like one.
If you've seen part 3, you know how that turned out for him. Now, this interview with Joshua took place on July 21st, just one day after my team and I had discovered John may have doctored evidence, while also admitting to me that John Silvestri didn't want to take accountability publicly for his role in group chats that he had been in. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I had a few doubts about John, considering we had already clocked a number of inconsistencies in his timeline, but that double whammy from the day before my interview with Josh completely shifted the energy that I had in even asking Joshua about John. Now, we already knew that John had lied about his age. We already knew that his parents had been around John and Joshua practically every time they were together and even encouraged their limited interactions. And at this point, we already knew that John had a peculiar trend of describing his mentorship of fans the same way that he described Joshua allegedly mentoring him. That somehow Josh's mentorship was evil, but John's was honorable. But regardless, I didn't tell Joshua about any of our findings in order to keep the investigation clean. Remember, at the time of this interview, we were still piecing together who to believe and on what. So I wanted to see if the way Joshua described the events to us matched what we had found. And to my team's utter surprise, it did.
We're gonna have
Okay, so let me go to the other timestamp. Hold on. Because I believe that's where that timestamp ended. It is. Okay. God, he's such a little shit. I can't stand that little asshole. All right, here we go.
I'm curious to know if you have an idea of how many times you hung out with Johnny in any capacity in person.
Probably anywhere from, I've probably seen him in person 6, 7, 8 times to my recollection.
Were any of those times alone?
Every single time I was ever around him, there were other people around. It was never, we're off on some secluded place, just us. That was never the situation. It was either in public where hundreds of people were around, or it was his family is right there. The one time that I hung out with his family.
So,
or shows, like meet and greets.
right. So I want to talk about the auto show.
Oh my
Johnny
God.
has-
The goddamn coffee date.
Oh.
God, Johnny. Oh my God, you little bastard.
So delusional.
Bro.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't even think he believes what he said. I don't think, I honestly do not think that Johnny believed what he was saying. He was literally doing it for some sick clout.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
I don't even think he believed what the fuck he was saying.
And I think that he thought that Josh was so like backed off from the situation and just did not want to be involved at all about anything, that he would get away with it, that like Josh wouldn't say his side.
Yep.
So
That's exactly what I was thinking.
yeah. So like I don't think he was expecting him at all to like have an interview or talk about it, because like the things that he was saying, like I would definitely be on there and talking about it if I was Josh after all of that bullshit, like especially knowing from your side that half of it was not even true.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Referred to this, him coming to the auto show, and he refers to having a coffee date with you.
Okay.
That's how he characterized it to me.
You see that look on his face when she said
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Watch his face when she says that.
Okay.
Refers to having a coffee date with you.
Okay.
You see that?
That was
Bro, I'm going to be honest. In this part, I think there's something missing that he won't say because he's being too nice of a guy to say it.
Probably.
In this whole Johnny part, I honestly believe something else happened, not physically. Okay? Not physically. But he said it in the first fucking apology that he gave Johnny. He talked about Johnny's attachment to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think something is in those fucking text messages. But he won't say it because he's trying to be nice, because he feels guilty over that attachment.
Yeah, and I feel like that, like, with the fact that, like, Johnny had Josh's number and all that sort of stuff, there was no real sort of screenshots or like talking about actual text messages between the both of them. It was all like the Twitter-based ones that were sent. So that I'm still thinking, like, what was said in text that hasn't been brought to light yet.
I think there's something in those text messages, and I think it would be something very embarrassing for Johnny.
Yeah.
Because that's why he only cropped out that one part of the text messages. Because here, if you don't have nothing to lose, and this guy quote unquote groomed you, why didn't you show all of the text messages? Get the
what's
fuck
the
out
full
of here.
context? Yeah.
Yep. It's something embarrassing in there, and I think he probably, allegedly for entertainment purposes only, put your tinfoil hat on. I think he professed his love.
Probably.
I really do. In my heart of hearts, that's what I believe. I don't know if I'm true. I could be wrong. But just that little bit of a face when she said that, and how he was kind of taken aback in his eyebrows, bro.
Yeah. Like winced at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a wince. It was like,
Yep.
Yeah.
That's how he characterized it to me. A coffee date.
We had a little coffee date when he worked at the auto show.
He said that this happened during the Chicago auto show that you were working, where you guys also created some content together. His family was there. You had a dinner with his family. Is that correct? Can you just tell me about this entire interaction with this auto show? How did he come to be there? How did his family come to be there? And what happened?
I remember being on the auto show floor where I was presenting the Chevy Cruze. I recognized his sister walking around. And I was like, oh, hey. And at the time, I believe his sister was like in college or getting into college. And I'm like, what are you doing here? Do you like cars? And I'm sitting there on this rotating thing with a car, talking to her just like I would talk to anybody coming up to see the car. And that turned into leading to, well, now Johnny and my family also want to hang out, or they're wondering if you can, or they're wondering if there's time.
So you run into his sister first.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
To my knowledge, I saw her first, and there's also a picture on Instagram where we're at the auto show and it's me and his sister.
Yes.
And I'm like hiding behind her hair, and that turned into discussions of, my family would love to have you over for dinner. And I'm like, well, I don't know. And like, I was nervous, to be honest with you. I didn't really know them like super well, but I also knew I'm on this auto show circuit for months, and I eat fast food every night, and all the people in the auto show, they go party every night. I don't want to do that. I don't want to party again. Hey, Johnny's cool, and his family seems so much like families I grew up around. So I was like, you know what? Fine. Yeah, that sounds like a great idea.
Was Johnny there when she had invited you to dinner with the family?
I honestly don't remember. I don't remember if he was or was not. I do remember talking to him at some point about it. To be honest, again, like I'm trying to fill in gaps in my head right now.
Do you remember having coffee with
Yeah,
Johnny?
absolutely. Yeah, I do.
Tell me about that.
He wanted to hang out again.
Where were you?
This was the auto show floor with the not cafeteria, it was a food court. And I remember him wanting to hang out. And I was like, well, you can come see me on my break, but it can't be for too long because I have to get back to work. And I remember we both got a coffee. I believe I paid for his coffee and hung out for 15, 20 minutes. And then I had to go. I had to go back to work.
How do you feel about that being characterized as a, quote, coffee date?
It makes me feel weird inside to have anyone think of it that way. Because to me, it was, I'm chill with your family. We like had a fun dinner. We were together for a couple of hours and he wants to hang out again. Okay, like to categorize it as a date feels very misleading and very like, I'm gonna paint it in this light when it was not like that.
Okay.
I'm telling you, those text messages have something in them. Oh, Johnny, give us the text messages. We already know you have them. Just leak them all out on Twitter. Just leak them out all on Twitter, okay? Bro, just bite the fucking bullet and leak it. Bro.
I wonder if at this point he's put together, like just personally at that time in the timeline, when Johnny at the start was saying that like he had nobody, like he had no support, he was alone, he had no friends and blah, blah, blah. And then getting to the point where his family are interacting with him, he's having dinner with his family is pushing for him to like go meet them all together. Like there's two different narratives going there already, which hasn't really been discussed when he thinks like which way or the other. You know what I mean? Like it's two different dynamics there, and there isn't much spoken on that. So it's kind of like, well, were they a big happy family, someone that like family that you grew up around and, you know, where everyone like, you know, supports each other? Or was he a loner that had no support, that was really sad, that needed someone to guide them? Like it's, to me, that's a little bit weird. Yeah.
I'm going to be very honest with you. I think Johnny was just like Colleen. You spin one narrative to people close to you and you spin another narrative to other people. Just like how Colleen sent that text message to Shane Dawson that they got in a big fight and Josh destroyed shit. Johnny could have been telling his family one thing and acting a certain way with Josh. Because we all see that he's a fucking liar.
That's true.
But the thing is, at this point, though, he sees his Josh sees Johnny's family as a unit.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, when are you going to look back on what he said to begin with and go, oh, hang on, there's something not right there?
I don't know. Maybe he didn't spend enough time. Because, you know, sometimes family... Okay, so I know, like, families, they'll act one way in front of people, but behind closed doors are totally different.
Right.
You know, like we can act like a happy-go-lucky family, you know, and out in public, you know, that way nobody will talk about it, but behind closed doors, it's toxic as fuck.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, that's a possibility too. There's endless possibilities with it. Endless.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Can you just briefly tell me about the having dinner with Johnny's family?
We all sat around the table and had a great meal and got to know each other and talked, and it wasn't like super long. It's not like I was there for 4, 5, 6 hours or anything. And then they took me back to the auto show.
Okay. So it was kind of a short dinner.
It was a casual dinner, and we enjoyed our time. And I loved like talking to his parents and getting to know their life and hearing about his sister's aspirations and what she was going towards. And it all felt, I don't know, it felt nice to be around a family when I'm constantly on the road.
One of the things that made interviewing John Silvestri so frustrating is that in virtually all of the stories he told me, he claimed back then he was 15 or 17 years old and being directly invited to Joshua's shows across the country while...
Yeah, remember, Johnny was 17 years old 3 years in a row.
Yep.
It was absolutely amazing. Wish I could do that. I'd still be 35.
Also proving through his own words that this wasn't the case. One of the most perplexing examples of this came when John told me a story about how he flew down to California from Illinois to catch one of Joshua's shows that he claimed Joshua made him go to, and how he was allegedly 17 years old and renting a car to do that. To be clear, none of that was true. He was an adult, and the invitation John talks about was Joshua promoting a show on Twitter.
I want to touch upon quickly on the Irvine show, the Shadows tour, the first show that you had of that tour. That happened on May 20th, 2015. That was just a few days before Johnny's birthday on May 24th, when he was about to turn 19. Johnny claims that you invited him to the show.
He would say stuff to me like, "Oh my God, come to California for my show," and I'd be like, "Are you serious?" And he'd be like, "Yeah, come on down," and I'd be like, "Whoa, sick."
So he
Oh, you little fucking liar! Oh my God, he drives me insane.
Flew out to Los Angeles, rented a car, and drove to the show. He also has said that he had trouble renting the car and that he had messaged both you and Colleen, kind of conveying that he was stranded and hoping maybe you would come pick him up from Irvine and to Los Angeles. I'm curious, do you remember him calling you, and did you directly invite him to that show?
I don't remember him calling me. It was our very first show. We were on edge. We were nervous. Everyone and their brother was coming to that show. Every YouTuber you can think of was at that show. If he did call, and I just don't remember that was happening, I had so many things going on. Tech runs, making sure everything is set up.
Sure, it's a busy time.
It's a lot. So if I got a call, I probably was overwhelmed at the time. Don't really remember it, but I'll take him at his word. If he said that's what he experienced and that's what he called. So it wasn't me saying, "You got to come to the show, man. Do whatever it takes." Like, that's not what happened.
This is the night.
I feel like deep down inside, okay, all right. How do I put this? I feel like he still feels bad about Johnny. And I feel like in a way he's protecting Johnny. And I don't mean that in a malicious way. I'm not saying he's being malicious, all right? But there is, just by the way he talks about Johnny, it's almost like he's saying something without saying it. There's something he's not saying. I'm telling you, it's in the fucking text messages. It's gotta be in the fucking text messages. Shit. Ooh.
So that Johnny has stated that he came out to you. And he said that you responded by saying, quote, "That's none of my business." And when he said that he has expressed that he had told you that he was considering coming out to his parents, and he has said that you discouraged him from doing so. Is this how you remember that happening?
Yeah, it did happen that way. He said it to me. I was taken aback. I was not expecting that kind of a major life declaration, especially in that dynamic, in that situation with what was going on around us. The first response was, that's not my business. You don't have to tell me that kind of a thing. But then when it comes to his parents, what he's leaving out is he also expressed immense fear of what his parents would say or do in reaction. And so, being from the South and knowing how people treat and seeing people being treated a certain way, my first response was, if you feel like this is dangerous for you, and if you do it, you might not have a place to sleep at night, and you don't know what's going to happen, maybe you should wait until you're 18. What, he said he was 19?
There's been different ages. That have been
That's
stated.
what I'm like.
But when he has said that this happened at the Shadows show, which would have been in 2015, so that would put him 18, turning 19.
Okay.
At the time, so he has said that this is when it happened. So
I
I'm just going off of that
sure.
information. So he would have been
then
about to turn 19.
Then what I recollect is that he was living with them. He was still under that roof, and my response was, if you feel like that would mess that up and that you would not have a place to go, then my advice is to get on your own 2 feet and be able to take care of yourself. If you don't feel like the response, you know them better than anybody else here would know. So if you don't think they're going to receive it well and you're afraid of that, then I've seen where it goes sour and they're left on the street and it's real and it's bad. There's never a thing of, don't tell them, like, that's not, I don't feel that way. I did not feel that way during that time.
There's nothing wrong with what he said to him. If that's what he said to him, there's nothing wrong with that. You got to take care of yourself first. If you got to wait until you have your own place to stay, because if it's presented to him that he might get kicked out if he tells his parents, I would tell somebody the same thing. Well, you know what? Save your money, do what you got to do, get out of the house, and then tell them. That way you're not left out on the street. I would say the same thing to somebody.
Yeah, he had a very reasonable reaction.
Right.
Time. So for him to say that, I was just like kind of shoving off, say, don't tell them, it's so bad. That is not what I thought. That's not my tone. If anything, he's picking and choosing parts of it and leaving other parts out. I remember thinking he's afraid of what his parents are going to say, or if they're going to be distraught, and it's not going to end well for him, and maybe he doesn't have anywhere to go because he still didn't have a lot of people in his life, to my knowledge.
I'm not going to provide my thoughts on this. He does seem quite hurt and upset, feeling like he was discouraged.
I don't believe him. I think he knows.
Guess what? We found out we don't believe his ass either, bro. We found out we don't believe his ass either. We had a whole ass episode 3 with this shit. Just saying.
Yeah.
Me. For him to say that I discouraged him because I thought it was wrong, or there was something wrong with him, is absolutely the polar opposite.
Minda was like, he said, nah.
He said, nah.
True.
Of who I was then, especially who I am now, there's no part of me that would shun him in a way of like, don't you say that. That was never part of it. I think he knows that. It feels like a lot of things. He pulls fragments and he leaves out context. And when you do that, you can string together any type of narrative you want.
You know why? Because the context is he's fucking nuts. That's the context.
True.
Just
Guz
saying.
in chat, everyone.
Oh, wait. Did I already hit that? All right, I pretty much hit it. Okay. We did that part. Okay, we gotta do this part. Bam.
I want to move on.
Pause. Okay, thank you. Isn't it crazy how I yell at my computer? Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Damn right, Guz in chat. Hell yeah. I love that Guz. That is so cute.
It is so
I
cute.
thought we needed more customized ones to what we normally do.
Yeah,
So.
I like that. It looks good. It's really
Thanks.
colorful. Like, especially when somebody does it like back to back to back. It's just, I don't know. I love it.
Into
So cute.
the ghosting.
Oh,
that
the
he talks
ghosting.
about.
The ghosting because he was in love. I'm telling you, he was in love with Josh. You do not describe somebody ghosting you unless you... Bro. I ain't dumb.
Do you know specifically when you stopped speaking to Johnny?
D-Max.
The last 2 months of my marriage, so summertime of 2016, things were rough in my life before everything blew up. And I already started distancing myself from people. I was going through a lot of stuff. I didn't know who to talk to. When I'm sad, depressed, I isolate. When everything happened, my life imploded. My whole world was destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
I lost, like I said, I lost a family. I was betrayed by the one person I wanted to trust the most. I was falling apart. I didn't know what my next step was going to be. I was thinking I could ask for half of everything, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to give it all to her. And I did do that.
That's what I did in my divorce. My first
Yeah,
marriage,
actually.
I let him take whatever
Yeah.
he wanted, take whatever the hell you want, get the fuck out. No money, no
It
nothing.
sends a message.
Yeah.
Honestly, I did
Yeah.
too. And like till this day, I regret giving back my engagement ring because that would cost $10,000. And I'm like, fuck, what did I do that for? Because he
Listen.
kept the car and everything. And I'm like, why did I do that?
Bro, side note, this mofo had the caucasity, because yes, he was a white man. He had the caucasity to message me like 6 months later saying, do you still have our wedding rings? I'm like, yeah, why? Can I have my wedding ring? I was like, no, I paid the bill, bro.
Yeah.
You have lost your
Yeah.
ever-loving mind. You want the
Which
wedding
is
ring.
that was the conclusion I had in my head. I'm like, look, he bought it, so fuck it, I'll give it back to him. But the thing is, like, we had savings and stuff brought up together, and he took that. So I was just like, I was pretty much just left with the appliances and the dog.
See, I was
you got
lucky.
the dog though.
I got the dog.
I was lucky. We didn't have any bills intertwined, and we didn't have any bank accounts intertwined or any cars intertwined. So we were lucky.
Yeah.
I just told him, pack your shit, get the fuck out.
Yeah.
So I was lucky in that regard that we didn't have
Yeah,
anything
that's good.
intertwined. So
And I don't remember half of the people reaching out to me because I just went into a dark, silent place. And the next thing I can remember that has anything to do with him is seeing him tweeting positively to her. And so in my mind, I was hurt by that. I was hurt thinking, why are you showing support to someone that you know, if you're like my internet little bro, like, what, it feels weird that you're like saying admirable things to this person that wrecked me. And so I didn't confront him. I didn't go off. I wasn't about to be like, you need to come over to my side. How dare you? I don't want to control him. That's the whole thing. He wants to say he was controlled. That's the opposite of what I did. I didn't want to control him. I wanted him to make his own decisions. So to me, he made a decision. And then I made a decision, which was, I can't see anything related to her. It hurts. Too bad. So I removed anything that had any type of connection to her. Especially like on my channel, I featured a lot of her family members. I had to take.
I don't blame him. He
Yeah.
needed to get away.
Yeah,
bro,
that's
I don't,
reasonable.
Yes, I don't want to hear about this bitch. What? No,
Yeah,
leave me alone.
That's the tough part of sort of like getting over a relationship is literally just trying to get over them. Like, to be able to do that, sometimes you have to cut everything out.
Yep.
Yeah, and him
yeah.
coming from sharing an audience with her pretty much. Like, it's always
Yeah.
going to be in his face if he don't just log off.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Take that off. But then I also took YouTube away. Like, I just walked away from YouTube for a chunk of time and fell into a deep, dark place.
Right, which you had spoken about earlier.
For him to, because he goes on and on and on about this whole ghosting thing. And everyone's like, poor Johnny, poor Johnny, poor Johnny. That was so messed up. I can't believe that happened. And once again, it feels identical to what I went through, where no one gave a about what I was feeling and what was going on with me. Everyone's like, poor Johnny, I can't believe Josh just abandoned you. And I'm like, who do you think you are? My life was wrecked. You think my first priority is to not talk to my best friends from childhood, which I wasn't doing, or family. I need to come out and be like, I just want to let you know we're cool, bro. That was not in my psyche. Where's the understanding? Yeah. Where's the ability at this point? Because he's not a baby. Where's the part of you in your humanity that goes, he's going through hell. Maybe he needs some time. This ain't about me right now. The way he's depicting it now, especially all these years later, it's right there. My life crashed and burned. And he's mad that I wasn't hitting him up. And then so he jumps ship and goes over to Colleen and then starts doing tour stuff with her and is still mad and acting like I was some villain ghosting him because I didn't give a about him.
Because Johnny's a bitch. That's why.
Yeah. I definitely feel like you are right, Xylie. He must be professing his love or whatever because, the way, he's acting like he needs to be a priority, that's someone that thinks that you have something going on.
Yes.
Yeah. He's acting like a crazy ex without being a crazy ex.
Yes, literally.
Yeah.
It's not how it went. It's infuriating because it's once again, it doesn't matter about what happened to me. Everyone else is right. Everybody else is always right. Josh is always the lesser than. It was just that all over again.
All right, hold on. Let me see, because I forgot the timestamp I was supposed to go to. You didn't give me one. Okay, hold on.
3:10:05.
Am I going to 3:10:05?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, we're almost there. All right.
Lesser than in every situation, and now in 2023, I'm dealing with it again. It doesn't matter that my whole life fell apart and I didn't want to live. I didn't respond to Johnny. That's infuriating to me. Where's any ounce of care or consideration of what I was feeling? There isn't any. And now he's weaponizing it. And I have to defend myself all over again, like my heart doesn't matter.
If you don't mind, I would like to ask you, and it has to do with Johnny. He acknowledged you being a victim in your relationship with Colleen, and then he went on to say that, why didn't you get out of it? You must have wanted something, you f***ed around and found out, and now you're just upset about it.
At this point, I don't care that he was a victim, because we're not talking about that story anymore. If he wanted to talk about that story,
God. Jeez, I hate
He
him.
has such a
Sorry,
punchable face. He has such a punchable face. Oh my God. Oh.
he had every opportunity in 2016. He said he was going to do it, but he was making an ass out of himself, and I think he got embarrassed, and he started this new life in Georgia. I'm no Colleen apologist, but he actively chose to remain in this relationship. He had so many outs. He didn't propose for 9 years. Why did you enter a marriage that was so toxic if you knew it was so bad? You must.
Oh, fuck you, bro!
Yeah.
Oh my God.
There's no life experience with this one at all, right? It's all just online drama for him and what it means to him. This is a narcissistic view of the situation, but only because it involves yourself and you're the only person that matters in this situation. It's got nothing to do with you. It's got nothing to do with you, bro. That's so gross.
Have wanted something out of it, and it bit you in the ass. So I truly think it was he f***ed around and found out, and now he's just upset about it.
How did that make you?
Ooh.
A little laugh at the end, chortle at the end.
Oh my God, bro.
Fuck you, buddy. Fuck you.
You feel hearing him say something like that?
He's saying the quiet part. He's saying what I think everyone is saying.
Right,
It didn't feel
so,
new to me. It didn't feel
that-
oh
that
my
was-
gosh. I can't.
That was what I was about to say, is because he's saying the quiet part out loud, but he didn't quite finish that sentence.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I picked up on
yeah.
that when he said that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then he's like, wait, let's restructure this. And I was just like, oh.
He almost said it.
Yeah.
He almost said it. Oh, God damn it. Man, I want to see those fucking text messages, bro.
Can't believe it. It's yeah, I heard that. People just don't care how it affects me. I just really started believing that I just didn't matter. I didn't matter. How it affected me doesn't matter. My emotions doesn't matter. Johnny himself said, I don't care. To me, it wasn't some sword through the chest. It was just kind of another numbing slap in the face. Another yeah, you already know this. You know that you were just this thing. You weren't a person who also has feelings and and a journey and hopes and dreams and downfalls. Like, cool, you don't like me. I have thought that a lot of people don't like me for a long, long time. And it used to suck my soul dry. And now I have closed myself off. And I only truly look for that kind of validation with only a handful of people, if that. You have been, I don't want to like just kiss up to you. I don't feel like you're in my corner. I feel like you are, you just care about truth and finding what that truth is and presenting that truth. But I feel like I have never experienced that. Presenting the truth has changed a lot for me. It's one of those things that I just never thought it would happen. So thank you for being the only person in this whole shenanigan that like made me feel like I was worth a couple of.
True.
I want to skip over this because I feel like he sucked up to her so much. So like there was a couple of times where it was just like, thank you, blah blah blah, and then like gassing her up and stuff. And I was like, yeah, like that's all right, and we get that.
Wait, we are skipping or we're not?
Yeah. This is the next part now.
Okay.
We're going to
the last part.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
One word to describe what you're feeling, and you've forgotten Colleen. Final statement.
Have you forgiven Colleen? Yeah.
Yeah. Hell no, I ain't forgiving that bitch. But it ain't for me, so I can't answer that question.
If you could sum up what you're feeling in one word, what would that be?
So many words. Afraid. I'm afraid. I've been afraid of her for years and what she was capable of doing and what she did. Afraid of now losing everything that I worked so hard for in a very genuine, heartfelt way. No manipulation, no shady stuff, just trying to do the right thing and work hard. I'm afraid. This is my life.
Let me ask you one more question. One word, yes or no. Have you forgiven Colleen?
No. No one's ever asked.
Do you think...
Feel terrible saying?
You don't have to feel terrible for saying what you feel.
She's never shown me remorse. I don't forgive her, but I also do my darndest not even let her cross my mind. I don't want to think about her. And at this point, I'm very happy that I don't need it anymore. I have what I need.
If you were to give one final statement to the public who's watching this, what would you want to say?
I don't care how old you are, if you're a kid, a teen, college, a parent. When you seek the validation of an influencer rather than the people that are truly in your life, that's a road that becomes dangerous. That will lead to only pain and feeling let down. Value those in your life that truly show up, not just enjoy the clicks and not enjoy what your view does for them. There are a lot of mistakes I made, but I know there are a lot more that could have been done, that has been done from other people. And I plead to anyone watching this, seek strength in yourself, validation in yourself, and the people that are around you. And if you don't have someone around you, don't seek your validation from a social media person, a celebrity.
Yeah.
They might care about you, but they can't.
You're speaking fast.
You're not their family. As much as that illusion exists, it's dangerous. Parents, watch what your kids are doing. Pay attention. Ask them. Say, can I see your phone? Don't be their best friend. Protect them. Because these influencers, me included, did not protect them before. So please, think about them first.
True.
And any influencers that might come across this and hate watch because I'm on it, you have an opportunity to make things better. Choose those things. You have an opportunity when you see things are wrong and that you could be complicit like I did, step up, go through the growing pains and say, this is not right. Being complicit, to me, can be just as damning as pulling the trigger yourself. I understand that because I did it and I have to carry that.
Regardless of where, this whole story lands ultimately, like I said at the beginning, I think your perspective, your context, sharing your story, I believe that you have the right to do so. And I appreciate you talking with me, sitting down here. I know this wasn't easy. And I think your words at the end there are as complicated and as nuanced as they are, given your history with all of these things and also things that are being said about you. I think those are important words for people to hear. So I appreciate you sharing that. Yeah.
There was one quote I said on my Twitter and I stand by it now. You don't have to be perfect to do the right thing. That's it. So start now. So I'm trying day after day.
So
thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, thank you for sitting down with me. Yeah,
this is the only one I'm doing. I'm not going to go anywhere else. And I value how you create these things and your perspective and your professionalism. Everyone you've brought into this mix, you've handled me with the kind of care that I have not experienced in years. And it means more than I can express in words. So
my only hope is that everyone involved in this story finds some healing at the end of the day. Everyone is on their own journey. They have their own feelings. I will always stand by that. And I just hope everyone finds healing, and that includes you.
Appreciate that. Yeah. And I hope they find that too.
All right, thank you.
Boom.
There you go.
Boom. Is that it? Is that everything? Is that everything?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's all we're going to react to. Yes. Xylie, as we said, Xylie's going to go over the whole thing, the entire thing from start to finish and react to it.
Yep.
So if you want to see all of that, please go to Xylie's channel and sub to Xylie, and yeah, you'll get to see all of that. But that is all for us here. And can we get a big swoop? Like, she did a great job.
She did an amazing job.
Yeah, presented some tough questions, got some great answers, and some of them a little bit, but you know, she also presented her thoughts and feelings on that throughout it as well, which is like, I really appreciate that. So again, top notch. This is like Netflix quality, you know, like it should be out there for more people to see.
Bro, I feel like she shouldn't even be a YouTuber. I swear to God.
Yeah.
I feel like Swoop shouldn't even be a YouTuber, honestly. I feel like she should be working for like Hulu and Netflix and them picking up her shows or something. Shit.
Yeah. Absolutely. And for just the team of the three of them, like that's an amazing job. And
is
they
that
did a really good job.
That's how many it is? It's only
her and two other people.
Wow.
And they have jobs.
That's so impressive.
Like, yeah, it's really impressive.
Damn.
And it's a really, really well done interview and documentary series. Yeah,
You
it's
would think
amazing.
It's something that's like on TV or something, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Well, what do you think, chat?
Yeah, chat. What did y'all
guys?
think?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Everybody good. Everybody. Are we got past the trolls? That's a good thing.
Yeah, I think the subscribers only mode really fucking pulled them off. So.
I know. I hate the fact that we even had to do that, but
I know we don't usually do that. We love everyone to be able to chat whether you're subbed or not, but that was just dumb.
Yeah, no, we had to.
Yeah, if you're gonna come in trolling, like at least be funny about it. I want.
Yeah, be a good troll. Be a funny troll.
Come in on your A game, buddy.
Yeah, like say funny stuff. We may actually let you stay. We love trolls. Bunny's a troll.
Hey.
And she's on the podcast. Hello. You know? But no, it was really good. I'm excited to go over it. But yeah, no, it was good.
Yeah.
Any last words y'all want to say before we get out of here?
Wub.
Wub. Yeah. Basically, yeah, just thank everyone who turned out. We had like almost 200 people in here at one stage, so thank you to everybody. If you aren't subscribed, please subscribe. That would do us a lot of goodness.
Yes, please subscribe. Absolutely.
Yeah. And if your broad membership expired halfway through like mine did and you can't put the guz in anymore, please consider getting that so you can do that now.
Hell yeah.
There is a link up the top there if you'd like to resub. But yeah, thank you to everybody, and we will be here again on Monday. And
Monday 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
That's
tonight at midnight on my channel, another secret cabal meeting. All right? We're going to have a secret cabal meeting at midnight on my channel.
Secret, not so secret.
Secret, not so secret cabal meeting. We have things to discuss, and we have ops to do. So
yeah, missions to deploy.
Yeah, exactly. All right, say goodbye to everybody, ladies.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
You see how sweet Eva sounds when she goes, bye, guys. Ugh. Guh. Put guns in the chat as we get out of here. Peace out, guys.
Watch me.
I'ma get it how I wanna get it, you don't get it. I can do anything, I don't got a limit. I'ma make my mind up, I'm committed. It might take some time, might take a minute. I won't give up, I don't give in a shit. I do what I want when I wanna do it. Call it a power or call it a gift. I call it persistence or driving some wit. I ain't no minute man. Good things take time when I'm in it, man. Give me some time and I'm with a fan. Now I'm gone too far from the beginning, man. I can teach you, but you gotta listen. I got lessons on lessons to give them. Think the masters are open and wishing and thinking and driven and cutting the ribbons. And they know they don't want it more than me. I work hard, they call it a disease. I work hard so I can go be free. but I don't work for anyone but me. But it didn't start like that. I was 9 to 5, didn't feel right. Had to get in touch with myself, get my mind back, to figure out what I want in this life bad. And I don't regret it, failed a lot, but I learned my lessons. Got new moves, new things, new weapons, and now I finally got direction.
We ain't got no time to be complacent. You only got one life to go make a statement. Everything you want, it'll all be waiting. So put your mind to it and you can become greatness. So don't quit, don't stop, push through it. You got dreams, one life, go do it. Make moves, improve, keep doing. A new life, new you can choose it.
Watch me.
Everybody know I got plans to take off. Everybody know I got bands, no J's on. I'ma do life like me, no days off. I don't really care what you think about me. Hate for the minds up like a disease. Filling me with fight, some life energy. Knowing that I'm doing something right. If you hating, I just try to keep my mind real vacant. I took all my time in the basement. I spent half my life impatient. It was worth all the time and patience. Huh, get it? The way I said it. Never mind, I don't have time, forget it. You can read all my rhymes on Reddit. They need to feed and damn it, I fed it. I got my eyes on the prize. I tell truth, on here, no lies. I don't take, I give and guide. I don't break, I live and fight. On the chase, I got the sight. Vision goals, I set them right. Working through the lonely nights, worth it on the other side. If you try to make it fast, it won't last. Take a stab, make it bad. Face the fast, but still lag. Don't give up, don't look back. You got this, no stopping, no quitting, no stalling, no options. You're running, follow your dreams and find your calling.
We ain't got no time to be complacent. You only got one life to go make a statement. Everything you want, it'll all be waiting. So put your mind to it and you can become greatness. So don't quit, don't